Chapter 713. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He grabbed Ouyang Nuan and took half a step back, staring at the ghost-face pavilion master with extreme vigilance. The ghost-face pavilion master had a shocking cultivation level and was only one step away from the crossing reality state. This person was smiling. Why was he smiling? Why did this person make a sound of surprise? Could it be that he had discovered the elder token on him? Before he entered the immortal soul planet, he had already placed the elder token of the Slaughter Palace in the profound Yin world. Logically speaking, even an immortal emperor might not be able to detect the existence of an elder token through an emperor artifact. However, there were always exceptions. Ning Fan was not sure whether the immortal realm experts of the Slaughter Palace had a secret technique that allowed them to sense the presence of the elder's order. After the incident of Wei Qi's betrayal, Ning Fan became more cautious than before. If the ghost-face pavilion master really discovered his elder token and wanted to attack him, he would immediately use the Black Devil escape art to escape from this place and set up a corner of the ancient Chaos Grand Monarch's ultimate killing rune in space to fight with him. The air in the slaughter pavilion seemed to freeze in an instant. Ouyang Nuan was also a little nervous. She had heard that the slaughter pavilion master was the most temperamental person in this place. He was usually as cold as ice and never smiled. But once he smiled, he would definitely kill someone. Did this ghost-face pavilion master want to kill Ning Fan? Why? She wasn't afraid of death, but she didn't want Ning Fan to die. She couldn't allow Ning Fan to die. Slightly gritting her teeth, Ouyang Nuan stepped forward and stood in front of Ning Fan's. She mustered up her courage and looked at the ghost-face pavilion master. I am the disciple of the medicine sect's sect master, Ouyang Nuan. He is my husband. If you hurt him, even though the medicine sect is not as powerful as the massacre hall, they will not let this matter rest. What? Someone from the herbal sect. The expressions of Old Devil Black Snake and the other bandits changed upon hearing the name of the herbal sect. The medicine sect was indeed not as powerful as the Slaughter Palace, but it was still the #1 alchemy sect in Eastern Heaven. Even many immortal venerables would occasionally go to the medicine sect to ask for pills. Even this group of lawless bandits would not dare to provoke a colossus like the medicine sect. They had also heard of the disciple of the medicine sect's sect master, Ouyang Nuan. It was said that the sect master of the medicine sect was extremely stingy and cold towards others. However, he pampered his disciple to the extreme and was extremely generous. If someone offended the sect leader of the herbal sect, they might be able to appease the sect leader of the herbal sect, who valued wealth as much as his life, by shedding some blood and paying a large number of Dao crystals. However, if anyone were to offend Ouyang Nuan, the medicine sect's sect master would never let them off. He would grind their bones into dust and his methods would be extremely cold-blooded. The Black Snake Demon and the rest gulped. If the woman before them was truly Ouyang Nuan, then she was the person that the sect master of the medicine sect valued the most. They would never dare to provoke her. Even the half-step true immortal ghost-face pavilion master would have to fear the prestige of the medicine sect. But, is this woman really Ouyang Nuan? Old Fiend Black Snake and company carefully sized up Ouyang Nuan. At this moment, Ouyang Nuan was wearing a purple jade. Her appearance could not be said to be old, but it could not be said to be too young or too beautiful. Her white hair was an eyesore, and her small body was too thin. Could a woman like this be the #1 beauty in the medicine sect? It was said that the medicine faction's head disciple, Ouyang Nuan, was a peerless beauty. In the entire eastern sky, she could be considered a first-class beauty. How could the woman in front of him be a beauty? It was impossible for this woman to be Ouyang Nuan. She scared me to death. I thought this woman was really the head disciple of the medicine sect. If she is really the head disciple of the medicine sect, she must have a peerless beauty and she must be protected by one of the 19 medicine guards of the medicine sect. Humph. This woman is not Ouyang Nuan at all. The Black Snake Demon sneered and said disdainfully. Ouyang Nuan's face under the light veil became even paler. She laughed at herself. That's right. Now that she no longer had a peerless beauty and Wei Qi was no longer protecting her, who would believe that she was Ouyang Yuan? She was the head disciple of the medicine sect. Ning Fan's cold eyes swept across the black snake demon and the others. He did not say anything and quietly pulled Ouyang Yuan behind him. His heart was filled with a warm feeling. This woman can't even protect herself, yet she still wants to protect me. Silly. Interesting. The head disciple of the medicine sect, huh? Interesting. How dare you threaten me? Qi, the ghost face pavilion master's figure flashed and suddenly disappeared from his original spot. In the next moment, he appeared in front of Ning Fan. He lifted his finger and pointed at Ning Fan's heart. Ouyang Yuan's face turned pale with fright while the black snake demon and the others sneered. They all thought that the ghost face pavilion master was going to kill Ning Fan out of anger. Ning Fan was secretly shocked. This ghost face pavilion master's attack was too fast. It was so fast that he had no time to defend himself. Even if he escaped with the black devil escape, he would most likely be affected by the force of this finger. Although this person had yet to break through to the true immortal realm, his strength was probably stronger than some true immortals. Gritting his teeth, Ning Fan was about to use the black devil escape to escape. Suddenly, he stopped and his eyes were filled with confusion. He realized that although the finger of the ghost face pavilion master was extremely sharp, he did not want to kill him. Instead, he wanted to help him. The force of that finger contained some kind of extremely mysterious baleful qi that seemed to be able to suppress the devil's sense. Could it be that this person wants to help me suppress the devil's sense? But why does he want to help me? While thinking, Ning Fan gritted his teeth and chose not to escape. Instead, he took the attack from the ghost face pavilion master. When the finger touched his chest, Ning Fan felt a sharp pain in his heart. He coughed out a mouthful of black blood, but his eyes were filled with gratitude. The ghost face pavilion master's finger landed on Ning Fan's chest and infused the baleful qi into it, merging it with the devil's sense. At this moment, Ning Fan was incomparably shocked to find out that he could use his own baleful qi to suppress the devil's sense. He could even control the devil's sense in his body. If the devil's sense were to devour his heart again, he would no longer be lost as long as he used his baleful qi to protect his heart. Ning. Husband, are you alright? Are you alright? Don't scare Nguyen Air. When Ouyang Yuan saw Ning Fan spurting out blood from his middle finger, she felt as if her heart was being pierced by a knife. It was so painful, she raised her head and stared at the ghost face pavilion master coldly. She hated herself for being weak and weak. She hated herself for not being able to tear this person into pieces. For the first time in her life, Ouyang Yuan had the intention to kill someone. Don't be afraid. I'm not dead. This senior doesn't have any evil intentions towards me. Just now, he helped me to control the devil's sense in my body. Ning Fan smiled at Ouyang Yuan and transmitted his voice to her. Really? How is that possible? The people of the Slaughter Palace only know how to kill and never save people. He is a dignified half-step true immortal. Why would he help you control the devil's sense? Besides, even my master, Senior Qian, couldn't completely suppress the devil's sense in your body. What kind of ability does this person have to help you control the devil's sense? Ouyang Yuan's face was filled with disbelief as she transmitted her voice to Ning Fan. No matter what, she finally felt relieved after hearing that Ning Fan was fine. At that moment just now, she was really afraid that Ning Fan would die in the hands of this ghost face pavilion master. Thank you. Ning Fan cupped his fists at the ghost face pavilion master. He was clearly hit by the finger, but not only was he unharmed, he even became more spirited than before. The mouthful of black blood that he spat out was probably the component of the devil's sense that was hard to control. After getting rid of these components, the devil's sense had already become a part of Ning Fan's strength, a force that could increase his strength. Ning Fan was also very surprised. The Quasi-Emperor Tai Wu could not help him control the devil's sense. Even Qian Kaiyan, who was a dignified true immortal, could not do it. However, the ghost face pavilion master, who was a half-step true immortal, did it. It was not because his cultivation base was higher than the quasi-emperor Tai Wu. Instead, it was because his finger technique was too mysterious. It seemed to be able to restrain baleful qi and devil sense. Without a doubt, that finger technique was the Slaughter Palace's divine ability. Ning Fan's mind raced. Perhaps the divine ability of the Slaughter Palace itself was based on baleful qi and devil sense. That was why it could control the baleful qi and devil sense so easily. In that case, if I can really join the Slaughter Palace, not only will I not need to get rid of the devil sense in my body, it can even become a powerful killing method for me. The Ghost-Face Pavilion Master only responded indifferently to Ning Fan's thanks. His body flashed and he returned to the other side of the counter. The old devil Black Snake and the others looked at Ning Fan in confusion. They could not understand why Ning Fan was not killed by the Ghost-Face Pavilion Master and was merely injured by a finger. Could it be that the Ghost-Face Pavilion Master was in a good mood today and spared Ning Fan's life out of kindness? Was that why Ning Fan thanked him? What a lucky kid. The old devil Black Snake sighed with emotion. These 7 heads are worth 50 million Dao crystals. After deducting 20%, you will get 40 million Dao crystals. The Ghost-Face Pavilion Master flicked his sleeve and kept the 7 heads. Then, he lifted his finger and a storage pouch appeared on the counter. It contained 40 million Dao crystals. The old devil Black Snake took the storage pouch and bowed respectfully to the Ghost-Face Pavilion Master without saying a word. Then, the group of them left the Slaughter Pavilion in a hurry, not daring to stay any longer. Looking at the old devil Black Snake's figure that left in a hurry, Ning Fan's eyes flashed. He naturally noticed that the group of bandits had a black snake tattoo on their left arm. They were all members of the Black Snake Bandits. That black-robed rogue immortal old man is the bandit leader of the Black Snake Bandits, the old devil Black Snake. This person is very protective of his people. If he finds out that 4 of his subordinates were killed by you after he returns, he will certainly bring his men back to seek revenge. Oh, Young One reminded him through telepathy. Don't be afraid. I, your husband, am very powerful. Even if the Black Snake Bandits are abandoned, they won't be a threat to me. Ning Fan replied with a smile. Don't talk nonsense. Saying that you are my husband is just an expedient measure. Oh, Young One said angrily. I, on the other hand, feel that this title isn't bad. Ning Fan smiled and raised his head. His smile faded and he stared at the Ghost-Face Pavilion Master with a solemn expression. Why did this person help me? Does he have some ulterior motives or is he just being kind? Is this person a friend or a foe? Little friend Xianqiu, you don't have to worry. I don't have any evil intentions or ulterior motives in helping you. I am just doing it on a whim. I have heard from the Pavilion Master of Shaozi Star that you are a good seedling who cultivates the Tao of Slaughter. Today, I can see that it is indeed true. Since you are able to cultivate so much devil sense when you are just at the void fragmentation realm, you will certainly be a promising talent if you join my Tao of Slaughter. The Ghost-Face Pavilion Master seemed to have seen through Ning Fan's concerns and explained with an indifferent tone. I see. Ning Fan nodded his head, seemingly accepting this reason. If this Ghost-Face Pavilion Master had already heard about me from Lord Zhu of the Slaughter Pavilion of Shaozi Star and helped me out of cherishing talent, then everything would naturally make sense. However, was this really the case? Ning Fan faintly felt that there was another reason why this person helped him. Cultivators at the second step of Tao cultivation were also fond of spiritual equipment. The spiritual equipment above the profound spirit realm was divided into 3 grades: immortal grade, true grade, and emperor grade. The ghost mask that this Ghost-Face Pavilion Master was wearing was a true grade spiritual equipment. It could conceal one's chi without exposing a single bit. Even ordinary true immortals would not be able to detect his chi and appearance. Even though the Ghost-Face Pavilion Master's chi was concealed, Ning Fan still felt a sense of familiarity from him. The burly figure of this person was very familiar, as if he had seen it somewhere before. This sense of familiarity came and went quickly. When Ning Fan carefully examined the figure of the ghost-face pavilion master again, he felt that such a burly figure was just too common in the cultivation world. Was that sense of familiarity just an illusion? Forget it. No matter if this person was a friend or foe, Ning Fan decided to keep his guard up against him. What happened to Wei Qi had alerted Ning Fan. The reason why I came here today is to submit the Red Bounty mission and buy some information. Recollecting his thoughts, Ning Fan patted his storage pouch and took out 17 sealed human heads. They were the heads of the devils that he had killed previously. The ghost-face pavilion master's eyes swept across the human heads and said indifferently, "These 17 human heads are worth 140 million Dao crystals. After deducting 20%, you will get 112 million Dao crystals. At the same time, the total reward you have obtained is more than 30 million Dao crystals. No disciples of the Slaughter Palace will attack you." As soon as he finished speaking, the ghost-face pavilion master flicked his sleeve and kept the 17 human heads. Then, he took out a storage pouch and placed it on the counter. Ning Fan was not in a hurry to take the storage pouch. Instead, he asked, "I want to buy some information from you. May I know the price?" "One information, one price. Tell me the information you want and I will tell you the price. Pay me and I will give you the information in the jade slip." The ghost-face pavilion master's eyes revealed a meaningful smile. The way he addressed Ning Fan had changed from "this seat" to "I." His tone actually carried a hint of intimacy. "Ning Fan, he really doesn't have any ill intentions towards you. He only has good intentions. My 5-colored medicine soul can sense people's hearts." "But why?" Yang Nuan transmitted her voice to Ning Fan doubtfully. "I don't know. Don't trust the medicine soul too much. It's hard to predict a person's heart," Ning Fan replied. After a short moment of silence, he asked the ghost-face pavilion master in a distant tone. "I need some immortal soul herbs. Where can I find them?" The immortal soul herbs originally grew on the immortal soul star. However, the immortal soul star was barren now. Not even a single blade of grass could be found there. The information about the immortal soul herbs. The price is 200 million Dao crystals. 200 million for a piece of information. Ning Fan sighed softly. He took out 88 million Dao crystals from his storage pouch and put them into another storage pouch. Then, he placed it on the counter. Together with the previous reward, it was exactly 200 million. This is the information you want. The ghost-face pavilion master kept the Dao crystals and took out a blood-red jade slip, handing it to Ning Fan. Ning Fan received the jade slip and scanned its contents with his spirit sense. His expression immediately changed. There were only a few simple sentences in the information. Ever since the immortal soul star was destroyed, there are no more immortal soul herbs in this world. However, there are still a small number of seeds of the immortal soul herb remaining in this world. There are also a few descendants of the soul race who have the secret technique to grow the immortal soul herb. The immortal soul herb cannot be grown without the secret technique of the soul race. Ning Fan spent 200 million Dao crystals to buy a piece of information, but it was not very useful. I also have the information about the seeds of the immortal soul herb and the secret technique to grow the immortal soul herb. Do you want to buy them? The ghost-face pavilion master asked with a smile. Ning Fan was slightly stunned. Then, his expression turned strange. This slaughter pavilion sure knows how to make money. They can even sell the information about the immortal soul herb like this. He was determined to get the immortal soul herb. Since there were no more immortal soul herbs in this world, he could only find the seeds and the secret technique to grow them himself. He must buy these 2 pieces of information. May I know how much these 2 pieces of information are worth? Ning Fan asked. The information about the seeds is 200 million Dao crystals, while the information about the secret technique is 300 million Dao crystals, 500 million, huh? Ning Fan scanned his storage pouch with his spirit sense. At this moment, there were only 450 million Dao crystals left in his storage pouch. He did not expect the information of the slaughter pavilion to be so expensive. He was already considered very rich among the Four Heavens Void Fragmentation Realm experts. However, he could not afford a few pieces of information at all. "Husband, this is for you." When Young-won saw Ning Fan's embarrassed look, she found it interesting. She untied her storage pouch and handed it to Ning Fan. Ning Fan lacked money, but she had never lacked it. She could tell that the information about the immortal soul herb was extremely important to Ning Fan. Since Ning Fan could not afford it, she would help him buy it. "This is your money. How can I use it?" Ning Fan's expression was slightly awkward. "I have even given my life to you. What's the harm in giving you some worldly possessions? I will give you my storage pouch now. Do you think you don't need to spend money to find the longevity jade? You don't need to treat me like an outsider." Young-won hugged the little furball in her arms. She was in a good mood. "Oh. The little furball looked at Ning Fan in confusion. It did not understand why its father would feel ashamed spending its mother's money. "It's me who is too meticulous about the small details." Ning Fan's expression changed and he kept Young-won's storage pouch without changing his expression. He took out 500 million Tao crystals from it and paid Ghostface Pavilion Master to buy 2 sets of information. Ning Fan could not help but admit that Young-won was much richer than him. There were actually more than 50 billion Tao crystals in that small storage pouch. There were more than 20 tufts of 1 million years old spiritual herbs, 7 9th Revolution healing pills and 1 58th Revolution healing pills. There was also the 3,000 years old immortal peach tree and various rare ancient herbs. The total value of the items in this storage pouch was at least 100 billion Tao crystals. After scanning the 2 sets of information with his spirit sense, Ning Fan's expression changed again. The secret technique of planting the immortal soul herb was in the hands of Hun Tianjun, one of the 10 ancient heavenly monarchs. Hun Tianjun was a descendant of the soul race. He possessed the spiritual plant scripture which recorded the secret technique of planting the immortal soul herb. That spiritual plant scripture was stored in Hun Tianjun's treasure vault. If one wants to obtain this scripture, he would have to steal it. Hun Tianjun was cold-blooded and cruel by nature. He was a natural-born bandit. It was absolutely impossible to buy the spiritual plant scripture from him. The information about the secret technique of planting the immortal soul herb was extremely useful to Ning Fan. The 300 million Tao crystals were not spent in vain. As for the information about the seeds of the immortal soul herb, it was too much of a loss. There was only one sentence in this piece of information: "I happen to have a small bag of the seeds of the immortal soul herb. Do you want it?" Ning Fan looked at Ghostface Pavilion Master speechlessly. "Does Senior really have the seeds of the immortal soul herb?" "Of course I do," Ghostface Pavilion Master said seriously. Ning Fan remained silent. He was a little confused about the situation. Is this Ghostface Pavilion Master trying to deceive me of the Tao crystals on purpose? This person purposely sold the information separately. Even though he had the seeds of the immortal soul herb in his hands, he did not sell them to him directly. Instead, he said that he had the seeds of the immortal soul herb after earning more money. Would a dignified half-step true immortal realm old monster really covet Ning Fan's hundreds of millions of Tao crystals? With Ghostface Pavilion Master's strength, wouldn't it be faster to snatch Young-won's 50 billion Tao crystals from Ning Fan's hands? Ning Fan could not understand it. If this person was not greedy for money, then he was purposely making fun of him. What exactly is this person planning? Why did he do so many illogical things? I really don't have any ulterior motives. I just want to play a little joke with an old friend. Why are you so nervous, Brother Ning? Ghostface Pavilion Master could no longer hold back his laughter and burst into laughter. Ning Fan was stunned. Then, he suddenly understood something and looked at Ghostface Pavilion Master in disbelief. "It's you." "That's right. It's me. Brother Ning, how have you been?" Ghostface Pavilion Master laughed. He put away the Ghostface spiritual outfit and revealed his true appearance. The way he looked at Ning Fan was filled with a sincere smile. How? How is this possible? The ghost-face assassin of the Slaughter Palace actually showed his true appearance. Yang Nuan stared at Ning Fan in disbelief. In the Slaughter Palace, not everyone had a ghost face. Only a small number of experts were recognized by Sha Di and were given the ghost face spiritual outfit. Even the members of the Slaughter Palace rarely knew whether or not each other had a ghost face and what kind of ghost face they had. She did not expect that the ghost face pavilion master of the Slaughter Pavilion would meet Ning Fan with his true appearance. Moreover, it seemed like he was Ning Fan's old friend, husband. Who is he? Yang Nuan asked speechlessly. No wonder Ghost Face Pavilion Master helped Ning Fan to suppress his devil sense. It turned out that he was Ning Fan's friend. However, this friend of his was too unkind. He didn't reveal his identity earlier and made her worry for half a day. Without waiting for Ning Fan's introduction, Ghost Face Pavilion Master laughed and introduced himself. I am Wu Chen, the Wu who has no respect for the law and the Chen who massacred people in a city. There were outsiders here just now, so it was really inconvenient for me to reveal my identity. Please forgive me if I have offended you. Sister-in-law. Yang Nuan blushed and did not know what to say. Wu Chen suddenly stopped smiling. He took out a small green pouch and passed it to Ning Fan. I was joking with Brother Ning just now. I hope Brother Ning won't mind. This is the seed of the immortal soul grass that I obtained by chance. If Brother Ning needs it, you can just take it. As for the secret technique of planting the immortal soul grass, I will accompany Brother Ning to find that Hun Tianjun later. I believe he won't dare to refuse to hand over the secret technique. Thank you. Ning Fan cupped his fists and bowed. He naturally did not mind Wu Chen's teasing. Wu Chen waved his hand, signaling Ning Fan not to be so courteous. Then, he glanced at Yang Nuan again and said to Ning Fan with a slight frown. Sister-in-law's body doesn't seem to be in good condition. Brother Ning, are you here to inquire about other information? Yes. The reason why I came here today is not only to inquire about the immortal soul grass but also about the longevity jade. I want to join the Slaughter Palace. After making a great contribution, I will ask Sha Di to bestow me the longevity jade. Ning Fan did not need to lie to Wu Chen. He did not have many good friends and Wu Chen was one of them. You want the longevity jade that belongs to Sha Di? Wu Chen's expression changed drastically. After taking a deep breath, Wu Chen's expression became unprecedentedly serious. He tried to dissuade Ning Fan. No one is allowed to covet the item that belongs to Sha Di. Even if you join the Slaughter Palace and become its disciple, making a great contribution, it will still be very difficult for you to get that longevity jade. As far as I know, Sha Di values this item very much. It seems like it holds a special meaning to him. He will not bestow the jade to anyone. If you ask for the jade, you might infuriate him and he will directly sentence you to death. Even if I offer the elder token to him, I won't be able to get it. I have to get the longevity jade. Even though I know the chances are slim, I still want to go to the Slaughter Palace and give it a try. If I don't have this jade. Ning Fan clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. Then, he looked at Yang Nuan who was beside him. Without the longevity jade, Yang Nuan would certainly die 20 years later. All the emotions in his heart were stuck in his chest, making him feel annoyed. He did not want to watch Yang Nuan die in front of him. He must do something. The Elder Token. Could it be the Elder Token of Elder Linglong? How is this possible? How could the Elder Token that Sha Di could not find anywhere in the world be in your hands? Wu Chen exclaimed in disbelief. Chapter 714. Elder's Order. Elder Linglong's Elder Order. Wu Chen exclaimed in disbelief. Now, there was only one Elder Order that the Slaughter Palace had yet to retrieve. That Elder Token was also of special significance to Sha Di. Where did Ning Fan find the Elder Token? You don't know where I found the Elder's Order? Ning Fan looked at Wu Chen in surprise. Didn't Wu Chen tell him to use the Ascension Passage? Could it be that there was something inside that Wu Chen didn't know about? How would I know where you found the Elder's token? If I knew, I would have taken it myself and brought it back to Slaughter Palace. Do you think it's your turn to take it? Do you know how much Shadi values that Elder's token? If we can retrieve that token, the merit would be really. Wu Chen looked at Ning Fan enviously. He really envied Ning Fan to death. He could find the item that the killing emperor had been longing for. If Ning Fan was just a stranger, perhaps Wu Chen would have already killed him to seize his treasures and token to claim credit. Unfortunately, Ning Fan was his friend. He would never take away his friend's treasure. This was his principle. Seeing that Wu Chen really did not know anything about it, Ning Fan could not help but laugh and explain. Do you still remember our reunion in the Sword World? Didn't you help me calculate an ascension passage? It's in the Rain World. I found the Elder's order in that ascension passage. What? Where did you find the Elder order? So it's there. No wonder the Shadi couldn't find the Elder's order even after searching the entire Four Heavens immortal realm. Wu Chen suddenly had the urge to strangle himself. When he helped Ning Fan calculate the ascension passage back then, it was definitely just a sudden impulse. He just wanted to calculate which ascension would be the most helpful to Ning Fan. As a result, he accidentally calculated that there was an ascension passage hidden in the Rain World. Unfortunately, that was all he could calculate. As for which almighty being had secretly opened up the passageway, he couldn't figure it out. He didn't expect that he, Wu Chen, would be able to predict the location of Elder Linglong's death and the location of the Elder token with just a simple calculation with his fingers. At that time, he had already fully comprehended the truth and was in a hurry to return to Eastern Sky. Unexpectedly, he didn't have the time to investigate that passage. Just like that, Wu Chen miserably missed the opportunity to become an elder. This was Ning Fan's chance. It was a chance that Wu Chen had given to him. Others could not find the place of Fu Linglong's death even if they were courting death. Wu Chen, on the other hand, had found the place, but he did not have the opportunity to find the Elder token. Ning Fan was the only one who obtained Fu Linglong's Elder token by accident. If he presents the token to Sha Di in exchange for the longevity jade, Sha Di might really agree to it. Of course, it was just a possibility. Brother Ning, you definitely don't have black luck. At the very least, you have the first grade of mortal luck, the purple luck. Wu Chen looked at Ning Fan confidently. Oh. Brother Wu, why are you so sure that I don't have black luck? Ning Fan smiled noncommittally. Nonsense. Can a cultivator with bad luck find something that even an immortal emperor can't? Wu Chen snorted coldly. Seeing that Ning Fan did not know much about fate, he briefly explained the relationship between the strength of one's fate and the number of fortuitous encounters. The amount of fortuitous encounters a cultivator had was related to their luck and cultivation level. At the same cultivation level, those with stronger providence would naturally have more fortuitous encounters. For those with the same luck, the weaker their cultivation level was, the more fortuitous encounters they would have. Wu Chen was also a cultivator with purple luck. Unfortunately, he did not have the fortuitous encounter to obtain that Elder token because his cultivation level was too high. As a half-step true immortal realm cultivator, it was really not strange for him to have purple luck. Cultivators at the same level as him would at least have purple luck. It was very difficult for the fortuitous encounters bestowed by the heavens to Wu Chen. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was different. His cultivation level was still very low. If he had purple luck, the benefits would naturally be great. If a void fragmentation realm cultivator of the same level as him were to compete for fortuitous encounters, who could compete with Ning Fan for purple luck? Most of the cultivators with the same luck were life immortal realm cultivators. If they were to compete for fortuitous encounters, not many of them would be able to compete with Ning Fan. Wu Chen still did not know that Ning Fan already had the first color of immortal luck. In the Eastern Heaven immortal world, normally, only cultivators at the true crossing realm could cultivate their luck to the first color. However, Ning Fan had cultivated one color of immortal luck when he was at the void fragmentation realm. In other words, most of the old monsters at the True Crossing realm would not be able to compete with Ning Fan for fortuitous encounters. After all, Ning Fan's cultivation level could not be any lower among those who had the same luck as him. No wonder I was able to obtain heaven-defying treasures time and time again even though I only had purple luck in the past. So this is the reason. There are also benefits to having a low cultivation level, right? Ning Fan muttered to himself thoughtfully. After talking a lot of nonsense, Wu Chen suddenly slapped his forehead and smiled awkwardly. I forgot that we were talking about the longevity jade. Why are we getting further and further away from the topic? I suppose the reason why Ning Fan is so persistent in searching for the longevity jade is because of my sister-in-law, right? Wu Chen glanced at Youngwon and let out a long sigh. Even though he had only met Ning Fan a few times, they hit it off very well. Moreover, he knew Ning Fan's character very well. If it wasn't for this woman, why would Ning Fan risk the wrath of Sha Di and insist on going to the Slaughter Palace to obtain the longevity jade? Yes. Without the longevity jade, Nguyen Heir will die 20 years later. Ning Fan frowned and said. Nguyen Heir. Young Nguyen's cheeks turned red again. She moved her feet slightly and stomped on Ning Fan's body a few times as a warning. Since when did she allow Ning Fan to call her that? Just as I expected. Since Brother Ning has found the Elder Command token, then everything will be much easier. The merit of presenting the token is enough for Sha Di to consider giving you the longevity jade. Of course, it's just a consideration. No one knows whether Sha Di will actually give you the longevity jade or not. I still have to try before I can be satisfied, don't I? Ning Fan sighed. Go and try. However, before that, Ning Fan must first find a way to join the Slaughter Palace and meet Sha Di personally. Then, he will present the token to him. Before he presents the token, he must not reveal any information about the token to prevent the old monsters in the palace from killing him and snatching the token. Speaking of which, Brother Ning's luck is really good. Our Slaughter Palace will only recruit one disciple every 1,000 years. The Grand Disciple Acceptance Ceremony of the Slaughter Palace this time will be 10 years later. Sister-in-law still has 20 years to live. As long as Brother Ning can join the Slaughter Palace before that and present the Elder Token to obtain the longevity jade, her life will be saved. However, it's not an easy task to go to the main palace of the Slaughter Palace within 10 years to participate in the Grand Disciple Acceptance Ceremony. Wu Chen held his chin and frowned as if he was thinking of a solution. Youngwon looked at Ning Fan blankly. She never knew that Ning Fan had actually decided to go to the Slaughter Palace to obtain the most dangerous longevity jade to help her prolong her life. Yes, the longevity jade was the most difficult and dangerous one to obtain. The danger of obtaining the jade from Sha Di was incomparable to the danger in the true immortal land. It was completely a gamble. Fu Linglong's elder token was just a wager. Ning Fan was betting that Sha Di would give him the longevity jade in consideration of his contribution in presenting the token. If he loses the wager, even if he did not die after obtaining the Void Glimpse stage killing Emperor's jade, he would still end up in a miserable state. If Sha Di wants to kill or punish someone, there was almost no one in the Eastern Heaven who could save him. Ning Fan, let's go look for money. No, let's go look for my master. Let's go look for the longevity jade in the true immortal land. Don't take the jade from Sha Di. It's too dangerous. Youngwon bit her lips and advised him. You've said that your master has traveled to countless true immortal land in the four heavens immortal worlds for 8,000 years but he still could not find that longevity jade. That longevity jade is just too difficult to find. Sha Di's jade is the most likely to be obtained. Let's go and try. Even if we can't get the jade, Sha Di will probably spare my life considering my contribution in presenting the token. But what if Brother Ning is in trouble, I will go and save him. No matter what, I will definitely protect your life. My ancestors have been members of the Slaughter Palace for generations. My ancestors had made great contributions and were given a death exemption token. With this token in hand, apart from the crime of betraying the palace, you can be exempted from any crime. After pondering for a moment, Wu Chen took out a golden token from his storage pouch and passed it to Ning Fan. The word exemption was engraved on the token. It was written in divine seal script. This token was Wu Chen's life-saving item. It was incomparably precious. Ning Fan's eyes widened slightly. He looked deeply at Wu Chen and received the death exemption token without rejecting it. I will definitely repay your kindness in the future. Wu Chen shook his head disapprovingly and laughed. What kindness? I just don't want to lose a fair-weather friend like you. He had never befriended anyone in his life. Ning Fan was his first fair-weather friend. They drank wine together, watched the rain together and comprehended the Tao together. When his friend is in trouble, he would naturally do his best to help him. If he is in trouble, Ning Fan would certainly not ignore him. The main hall of the Slaughter Palace is located in the Blood Sea Star region of the Imperial Star region. From here, you will need to cross 15 high-grade star regions, 200 mid-grade star regions and 5,000 low-grade star regions to reach the Blood Sea Star region. It's just too far away. With my speed, it will take me 12 to 13 years to reach the Blood Sea Star region even if I fly at full speed. Even if I have the intention to send you guys to the Blood Sea Star region, I won't be able to reach it within 10 years. Moreover, I'm currently in charge of overseeing this slaughter pavilion, so I can't leave this pavilion for too long. I can only leave the pavilion for more than a month after someone else replaces me. Therefore, Brother Ning can only rely on yourself to go to Blood Sea Star Field this time. The Blood Sea Star Field is the Imperial Star Field. You'll need the Imperial Star Plate to get there. It's very difficult for cultivators from the outside world to buy the Blood Sea Star Plate. This is my star plate. You can use it. If you want to reach the Blood Sea Star Field within 10 years, you can only buy a large number of Stargate Jade Slips. A set of Stargate Jade Slips has 100,000 Tao crystals, and you will need about 300,000 Jade Slips. How many Tao crystals does Brother Ning currently have? Wu Chen took out his Emperor Star Disc and gave it to Ning Fan. The Stargate Jade Slip was a special kind of Realm Gate Jade Slip. It could open the Stargate and allow one to travel 500 billion miles in one go. It was a must-have item for many Life Immortal Realm cultivators, and it was very expensive. Due to the slow opening of the Stargate, it wasn't suitable to open the Stargate to escape during battle. However, the Stargate Jade Slip would be very useful if it was used for traveling. A Stargate Jade Slip was priced at 100,000 myriad Tao crystals. 10 Stargate Jade Slips were more than enough to pass through a low-level starfield. About 5 to 600 Stargate Jade Slips were needed to pass through a mid-level starfield. About 10,000 Stargate Jade Slips were needed to pass through a high-level starfield. Based on this calculation, if he wanted to reach the Blood Sea Star Field quickly, he would need to buy about 300,000 Stargate Jade Slips. According to the price of 100,000 Tao crystals per Stargate Jade Slip, he would need at least 30 billion Tao crystals. It doesn't matter. We have 50 billion Tao crystals. It's enough to buy the Jade Slips. I just don't know where I can buy so many Stargate Jade Slips. When the Life Immortal Realm cultivators travel, they usually only bring a few thousand Stargate Jade Slips. 300,000 Stargate Jade Slips isn't a small number. I'm afraid even an ordinary mid-level trading planet doesn't have so many of them. Young One was quite familiar with space travel. Knowing that it wasn't easy to buy 300,000 Stargate Jade Slips, she felt a little worried. It's alright. As long as we have enough money, just leave it to me. I will definitely be able to buy 300,000 Stargate Jade Slips within a month. Within this month, Brother Ning and sister-in-law will stay here and wait for my good news. Brother Ning, give me 30 billion Tao crystals. I will help you buy the Jade Slips. I don't need 30 billion. 20 billion is enough. Those Life Immortal Realm forces won't dare to refuse me even if the price is lower when they see me buying them. Wu Chen laughed and asked for the 20 billion Tao crystals from Ning Fan. Then, he changed his appearance and revealed his ghost face. He concealed his chi and walked into the inner room of the slaughter pavilion. After that, he gave a few instructions to the children. Then, he strode out of the slaughter pavilion, leaving Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan to look at each other. Big brother Wu Chen is really a good person. He actually helped us with all his heart. Ouyang Nuan sighed. I'm afraid I won't be able to repay the favor I owe him in this lifetime. Ning Fan sighed softly. A feeling that he had never felt before suddenly rose in his heart. 2 Gold Core Realm children with bloodshot eyes walked out of the inner room. One of them stayed outside and was in charge of receiving the other cultivators and handing over the tasks. The other person led Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan into the inner room to rest. This place was the slaughter pavilion. It was extremely safe. If Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan stayed here, even the 10 great heavenly monarchs of the ancient star region would not dare to trespass this place and find trouble with Ning Fan. Wu Chen would leave the ancient star region for a month and head to some of the bigger star regions nearby to plunder star plates. As for Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan, they would stay in the slaughter pavilion for a month. 1 month later, Wu Chen returned with 300,000 star plates. Then, he brought Ning Fan to Han Tianjun to ask for the spiritual plant scripture. During this month, Ning Fan decided to improve his strength properly. He still had 1 ascension pill, 1 life immortal dragon pearl, and more than 30 billion Dao crystals. Ning Fan pondered for a while and called the child over. He wanted to ask him to buy another emergence pill in Eastern Spirit City. The child was a member of the slaughter pavilion. The bandits outside would not dare to kill him and seize his treasures. Ning Fan decided to improve his cultivation base to the peak of the void fragmentation realm before he leaves the slaughter pavilion. After that, he would go to the profound Yin world and improve his cultivation base within a month. As for Ouyang Nuan, she would stay in the Yuanya world to rest for the time being. After all, it would be hard for him to feel at ease if he left her outside. Old Devil Black Snake nearly went mad with anger. As soon as he left the slaughter pavilion, he heard that the 4 leaders of his Black Snake bandits were killed by Ning Fan. In a fit of rage, Old Devil Black Snake immediately summoned all the void fragmentation realm experts of the Black Snake bandits and secretly surrounded the slaughter pavilion. He did not dare to enter the slaughter pavilion and act wantonly. However, as soon as Ning Fan steps out of the pavilion, he would certainly tear him into pieces. He was just that overbearing and protective of his people. Since Ning Fan touched his people, he deserved to die. Time passed by slowly. Ever since Ning Fan entered the slaughter pavilion, he never came out again. After a long time, Ghostface Pavilion Master walked out with a cold aura. As soon as he saw Old Devil Black Snake, he sneered. If you don't leave within 3 breaths, you will die. When Old Devil Black Snake and the other bandits heard Ghostface Pavilion Master's cold words, their souls almost left their bodies. No one dared to disobey his orders. Even the 10 heavenly monarchs would not dare to speak loudly in front of him. At this moment, Old Devil Black Snake no longer remembered his hatred towards Ning Fan. Without hesitation, he directly gave the order. Retreat! Retreat! They had no choice but to retreat. Didn't they hear Ghostface Pavilion Master's order? If they don't leave within 3 breaths, they will die. All the void fragmentation realm experts of the Black Snake bandits used their fastest speed to escape from this place. Old Fiend Black Snake smiled apologetically at Ghostface Pavilion Master before glaring fiercely at Slaughter Pavilion Master. He cursed softly, "Thousand Autumn, consider yourself lucky. The next time we meet, I'll definitely tear you to shreds." With a sneer, Old Devil Black Snake desperately escaped from this place, not daring to touch Ghostface Pavilion Master's tiger whiskers. He did not know that when he threatened to tear Ning Fan into pieces, Ghostface Pavilion Master's eyes flashed with killing intent. In the end, it turned into a ferocious smile. This was Wu Chen's smile when he was about to kill. Without any explanation or warning, Wu Chen suddenly took a step forward. His body turned into hundreds of blood shadows and chased after each of the bandits. The blood shadows had already caught up with each of the bandits at a terrifying speed. With a sweep, all of them lost their flesh and blood, turning into dried bones that fell from the sky. The scene was extremely horrifying. After a breath, all the bandits were dead, turning into white bones that littered the ground. Old Devil Black Snake could not understand why Ghostface Pavilion Master would kill him all of a sudden. Hundreds of blood shadows merged into one. Wuchen licked his lips and sneered. He kept the hundreds of storage pouches and flew towards the outside of the ancient star region. How could this bunch of cats and dogs harm his friends? Chapter 7:15. Inside the profound Een world, days and nights changed. In a slightly old thatched hut, a white-robed young man was sitting cross-legged on a bed. White mist lingered around his body as he was refining the power of the emergence pill. The white-robed young man's expression was cold. His robes fluttered even though there was no wind. His black hair fluttered along with his aura force. 2 emergence pills, 1 life immortal dragon pearl, as well as countless pills and Dao crystals. With Ouyang Yuan's money, Ning Fan bought enough items to increase his cultivation base. He was confident that he could reach the peak of the 9th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm within a month. With Ning Fan's personality, he disdained to borrow the power of others to increase his strength. However, the current situation was special. It was not the time to be mindful of trifles. After Wuchen left, Ning Fan inquired about the situation of the disciple recruitment ceremony from the attendant in the slaughter pavilion. Ning Fan could not help but feel shocked after he inquired about it. Most of the cultivators of the slaughter palace were born in the bloody slaughtering world. It was very difficult for cultivators from the outside to join the slaughter palace. Every 1,000 years, the slaughter palace would only hold a disciple recruitment ceremony to recruit a disciple from the outside. In every disciple recruitment ceremony, there would be tens of thousands of cultivators from the Eastern Heaven who wanted to join the slaughter palace. The slaughter palace's criteria for accepting disciples from the outside was very strict. In order to participate in the ceremony, one must at least meet 2 major criteria. First, one must have a cultivation base above the void fragmentation realm. Second, one's bone age must not exceed 30,000 years. Above the 4 heavens, void refinement realm and void fragmentation realm cultivators with a bone age of less than 20,000 years were considered as cultivators of the younger generation. According to the calculation of 1 generation every 20,000 years, the participants of each disciple recruitment ceremony would not only include the young talents of the current generation but also those from the previous generation. Ning Fan knew his own limitations. In terms of cultivation aptitude, he cultivated 3 clans at the same time. He had the ancestral blood of 2 clans and the royal blood of 1 clan. In the entire Eastern Heaven, no one in the current generation or the previous generation could compare to him. In terms of cultivation level, he might not be able to be ranked among the top cultivators with a bone age of 30,000 years. After all, his bone age was only slightly more than 1,000 years. In the Eastern Heaven immortal world, even though there were only a few who could attain immortality within 30,000 years, it was not impossible. The prodigy of the Northern Heaven, Western Emperor, Shimen Yi, had already reached the void fragmentation realm with a bone age of 2,000 years. His cultivation aptitude could be ranked among the top 4 in the current generation of the Northern Heaven. But his cultivation was far from being the highest in this generation of North Sky. After all, he had only cultivated for a short period of time, and was only praised for his aptitude. If Ning Fan wanted to obtain the longevity jade, the first step was to stand out from the tens of thousands of Eastern Sky's geniuses who were below 30,000 years old and become the champion of the disciple recruitment ceremony. This was the only way to join the slaughter temple. After all, every 1,000 years, the slaughter hall would only recruit the strongest person from the outside. All of the tens of thousands of geniuses participating in the competition were at the void fragmentation realm. Among them, there was no lack of rogue immortals or even life immortals. According to what Xiao Tong knew, currently in the entire Eastern Sky, there were a total of 7 life immortals whose skeletal age did not exceed 30,000. Among them, 4 of them had strong backgrounds, and they would not abandon the forces behind them to join the slaughter palace. Only the 3 of them did not have any background, but they all had the intention to join the slaughter palace. They might be able to participate in the recruitment ceremony of the Slaughter Palace. These three people all had the cultivation of the human profound initial stage, and were the Eastern Skies Heaven's chosen characters of the previous generation. Within 10 years, it was definitely impossible for Ning Fan to become an immortal. His comprehension of the Tao of life and death had yet to reach perfection. Immortal ascension was about comprehension. It wasn't something that could be comprehended overnight, nor was it something that could be achieved by accelerating time. Before participating in the competition, Ning Fan could at most cultivate to the peak of the void fragmentation realm. At that time, with the devil sense and the steel of sun and moon in his body, Ning Fan might be able to compete with a few life immortal heavens chosen. Time passed day after day. Ning Fan's magic power was also increasing at a terrifying speed. 6 million yuan hui, 7 million yuan hui, 8 million yuan hui. When his magic power exceeded 10 million yuan hui, Ning Fan was surprised to find that his magic power was gradually unable to be accurately measured. Even though he could not measure it accurately, he could still feel the magic power in his body continuously increasing. Magic power is immeasurable. Ning Fan's eyes flashed, as if he had understood something. From 60 years of magic power to 1 yuan hui, it was a qualitative change in magic power. From measurable magic power to immeasurable magic power, it was another qualitative change. The magic power of the first step of Tao cultivation was like the grains of sand in the desert. No matter how many there were, it could still be counted. The magic power of the second step of Tao cultivation was like the water droplets in the lake. The size of the water droplets could be changed. It was no longer possible to accurately measure the number of water droplets. However, the increase of the water in the lake could still be seen. Ning Fan's cultivation base continued to increase, the 8th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm, the 9th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm and the peak of the 9 heavenly layers of the void fragmentation realm. Within a month, he had achieved 2 consecutive breakthroughs in his cultivation base. His cultivation base had already reached the peak level of the 9 shattering realm. His magic power could no longer increase any further. 2 breakthroughs meant that he had experienced 2 sovereign lightning tribulations. The sovereign Qi dragon was already 90 feet long, and the might of a single strand of sovereign Qi was equivalent to 90 strands of sovereign Qi. 1 month later, Ning Fan left the profound Yin world. His Qi had undergone a drastic change. It became indistinct, difficult to find, and immeasurable. It faintly carried the aura of an untainted immortal. Little Qiuqiu, look, your father is not far from becoming an immortal. I'm afraid he will become an immortal in another 100 or 200 years at most. After Ning Fan left the profound Yin world, he naturally released Ouyang Wan back to the outside world. Ouyang Wan said with a smile as she stroked the little fur ball in her arms. She was in a good mood. The reason why she was happy was because she found out that Ning Fan did not treat her as an outsider and used her money to buy pills to improve his cultivation base. From then on, she had left a mark on his life. From now on, even if she dies, she would never be forgotten by him. Your complexion looks a little worse. Ning Fan looked at Ouyang Wan's increasingly pale face and frowned. You're mistaken. My complexion looks very good. Am I right, little Qiuqiu? Ouyang Wan played with the little fur ball as if nothing had happened. She did not want Ning Fan to worry about her body. Is that so? Ning Fan did not say anything else. He just held Ouyang Wan's hand which was playing with the fur ball as if nothing had happened and channeled his magic power into her body. Ouyang Wan's shoulders trembled. She did not withdraw her hand. Instead, her lowered eyes carried a sweet smile. Cough cough. It seems like I've come back at a bad time. A burly man with a ghost face appeared in the inner room of the slaughter pavilion. His face was covered with dust and his body reeked of blood. His eyes were filled with fatigue. Big Brother Wu, you're back. Ouyang Wan quickly withdrew her hand. Her ears were red. Brother Wu, are you injured? Ning Fan asked with a frown. Ning Fan did not know that Wu Qian had gone to 7 to 8 mid-grade star regions in the past month just to buy enough Star Gate jade slips. Some Life Immortal Realm forces were unwilling to sell the jade slips at a low price. Thus, Wuchen directly used force to buy the jade slips. Even so, he only managed to buy 150 to 60,000 jade slips. He still needed half of the jade slips to fly to the Blood Sea Star region. Seeing that 1 month was almost up, Wuchen went to a high-grade star region and forcefully bought the jade slips from a true crossing realm force at a low price. Of course, the other party was unwilling to sell them. He fought a hard battle with that true immortal realm true immortal. In the end, he won, but he was slightly injured. However, after the battle, he finally bought enough Stargate jade slips. It's just a minor injury. There are a total of 350,000 jade slips in this storage pouch. It's enough for you to use. Wuchen waved his hand, indicating that his injury was fine. Then, he laughed and tossed a heavy storage pouch to Ning Fan. Ning Fan caught the storage pouch and gave Wuchen a deep look. Then, he kept all the jade slips but did not thank him. I'll just keep my gratitude in my heart and find a chance to repay him in the future. I've already bought enough Stargate jade slips. You just need to get your hands on that spiritual plant scripture and you can depart to the Blood Sea Star region. Let's go. I'll accompany you to find Hun Tianjun and ask for the spiritual plant scripture. I don't think he will dare to refuse. Wuchen smiled domineeringly. He stomped on the ground and a blood-red lotus suddenly rose from the ground. Slaughter Lotus. This is the genuine grade flying escape spiritual equipment of the Slaughter Palace. Its speed is comparable to that of a true immortal realm true immortal. Moreover, it doesn't consume any magic power when flying. Ouyang Nuan exclaimed softly. Not bad. Ning Fan nodded his head and praised. Ha! I used my killing points to exchange for this in the Slaughter Palace. In the future, when Brother Ning enters the Slaughter Palace, you can also complete missions to obtain killing points. Then, you can use the killing points to exchange for the items you want. Wuchen laughed heartily. As soon as he stepped on the lotus, it immediately turned into a ray of blood-red light. Carrying the 3 of them, it disappeared from the Slaughter Palace in an instant and disappeared without a trace. Heavenly Star, Empty Soul Mountain, Soul Lord's Stronghold. This was a mid-grade cultivation planet. It was occupied by Hun Tianjun, one of the 10 ancient heavenly lords. Hun Tianjun was an early profound human life immortal realm life immortal. Currently, he was sitting in the main hall of the stronghold, looking down at a group of guests with a cold expression. There were only 7 people in this group. All of them wore green sword robes and carried green sword cases on their backs. All of their cultivation bases were at the Rogue Immortal Realm. None of them were at the Life Immortal Realm. However, when facing Hun Tianjun who was at the Life Immortal Realm, their expressions were extremely arrogant. Cultivators of the mysterious sword sect, why have you come to me? Hun Tianjun asked coldly. Mysterious sword sect. It was a Life Immortal Realm force in Wufeng Star region of the Eastern Heaven Immortal World. The sect master of the mysterious sword sect was an old monster at the peak human profound realm. Even Hun Tianjun was quite afraid of him. Even though he was afraid of the prestige of the sect master of the mysterious sword sect, he did not like the arrogant attitude of the 7 rogue immortals. The sect master of my sect is willing to pay 2 billion Dao crystals. Heavenly Lord, please kill 2 people. The leader of the 7 rogue immortals took out a heavy storage pouch. He took a few steps forward and handed it to Hun Tianjun. 2 billion. Kill who? Hun Tianjun retracted his cold expression and squinted his eyes slightly. Without changing his expression, he activated his spirit sense and scanned through the storage pouch in his hand. There were indeed 2 billion Dao crystals in the storage pouch. One had to admit that Hun Tianjun was very tempted. He was lacking an item to make a breakthrough. However, that item was too precious. If he had these 2 billion Dao crystals, he was confident that he could buy that item and advance his cultivation base to the mid-human profound realm. The 2 people that Heavenly Lord needs to kill are currently in the ancient star region. One of them is Daoist Qian Qiu and the other is a white-haired female cultivator who is traveling with him. Daoist Qian Qiu? Is there such a person among the Eastern Heaven Fate immortals? Han Tianjun was slightly surprised. In his subconscious mind, a person who was worth 2 billion Dao crystals was at least a mortal profound life immortal. However, in his impression, there was no Daoist Qian Qiu among the Eastern Heaven Fate immortals. Heavenly Lord, that Daoist Qian Qiu is not a life immortal but a void fragmentation realm cultivator. He is a devil with a bounty of 30 million Dao crystals. A rogue immortal bandit secretly transmitted his voice to Han Tianjun. Just a void fragmentation realm devil with a bounty of 30 million Dao crystals. Han Tianjun was startled at first. Then, he sneered disdainfully and said to the 7 rogue immortals. All right. This old man will agree to it. These 2 people will certainly die in the ancient star region within 3 days. Does the sect master of your sect need the heads of these 2 people? If you need. No need. Just do it cleanly. Farewell. The 7 rogue immortals cupped their fists indifferently and left. Looking at the backs of the 7 people leaving, Han Tianjuan's eyes flashed with cold light and he snorted coldly. Humph. Hiding the head but showing the tail. With Han Tianjuan's eyesight, he had already noticed that the 7 rogue immortals were just puppets. They were not real living people. This time, the one who asked him to kill them was most likely a life immortal puppet master who did not want to reveal his true identity. That was why he sent his puppets. After all, Han Tianjun was an old monster who had been a bandit for countless years. How could he not see that the one who wanted to kill Daoist Qian Qiu was not the mysterious sword sect but someone else? As for who it was, he did not care. He also did not care why the other party wanted to kill Daoist Qian Qiu. It was enough for him to get rid of a disaster after receiving money from others. Qin Hu, I will give you half a day to find out the whereabouts of Daoist Qian Qiu and the white-haired female cultivator. At that time, this old man will personally take action and exterminate these 2 people. Yes. Han Tianjun gave the order. A silver-armored man beside him immediately left in a hurry to find out the whereabouts of Daoist Qian Qiu. After only 2 hours, the silver-armored man returned to the main hall. His expression was extremely strange and his body was trembling slightly. He looked at Han Tianjun as if he wanted to say something. You found out the whereabouts of Daoist Qian Qiu so quickly. Han Tianjun was slightly surprised. No. Daoist Qian Qiu came to me himself. At this moment, he is outside the empty soul mountain. The white-haired female is also beside him. Oh. Interesting. I was just about to kill him and he actually came to me himself. Good, good, good. Han Tianjun was overjoyed. Suddenly, he thought of something and asked again. Why did this person come to my empty soul mountain? Heaven Lord, he came here to ask for the spiritual plant scripture. He said that he will only give you 10 breaths of time before you hand over the scripture. Oh? A mere void fragmentation realm ant dares to come to my empty soul mountain, threaten me and rob my things? Han Tianjun seemed to have heard something unbelievable. After a while, he burst into laughter. I have cultivated for 300,000 years. I have seen countless arrogant people. However, it is my first time seeing someone as arrogant as this young man. A mere void fragmentation realm junior with a bounty of 30 million gold coins actually dares to come to my empty soul mountain and threaten me. Interesting. Really interesting. I must kill this young man. Han Tianjuan's eyes suddenly turned gloomy. He stood up abruptly and was about to leave the hall to kill Ning Fan. However, he was stopped by the silver-armored man who looked pale. Heaven Lord, this man must not be touched. The spiritual plant scripture must be given to him. What do you mean? Why can't I touch this man? Han Tianjun felt uneasy for no reason. Because. The silver-armored man who used to kill people like scything flax was actually trembling in fear at the moment. He could not utter a complete sentence while stammering. At this moment, a cold laughter filled with immense baleful chi spread across the entire Empty Soul Mountain in an instant. Humph. Empty Soul Mountain. I have given you 10 breaths of time to hand over the spiritual plant scripture. Now that 10 breaths of time has passed, you still refuse to hand it over. Are you trying to force me to massacre the entire Empty Soul Mountain? That voice was extremely domineering. The strength of that voice was unquestionable. That voice carried boundless baleful chi. After that cold harumph, the physical bodies of countless void refinement realm experts and low-level void fragmentation realm experts exploded into blood mist and died. Miserable shrieks resounded across the entire Empty Soul Mountain in an instant. That cold harumph entered Han Tianjuan's ears. He felt an intense pain as if his sea of consciousness was being shattered. All of a sudden, he coughed out blood incessantly. His face turned pale and he was barely breathing. Without wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, he flew out of the main hall without hesitation and flew to the peak of the Empty Soul Mountain. His eyes were filled with deep fear as he stared at the ghost-faced expert who was standing on a blood-red lotus. Pavilion Lord, please calm down. Pavilion Lord, please calm down. I will send someone to get the spiritual plant scripture right now. Someone, quickly bring the spiritual plant scripture from the treasure vault and send it to the Pavilion Lord. No mistakes are allowed. Han Tianjuan's expression was extremely flustered. His heart was filled with fear. He had never expected that the ghost-faced Pavilion Lord who was in charge of the immortal soul planet would actually come to Heaven Chin planet. Why did he come here? Wait a minute. He came together with these two people. Han Tianjun stared at Ning Fan and Ouyang Yuan who were sitting on the lotus with his mouth agape. He rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Aren't these two people the cultivators of the mysterious sword sect asked him to kill? I'm not in a good mood right now. It's because I accidentally heard a piece of news outside your Empty Soul Mountain just now. I heard that you've been entrusted by someone to kill my friend. Wu Chen's cold voice entered Han Tianjuan's ears, causing him to almost fall to the ground in fear. Friend. How is this possible? The person he wants to kill is actually the friend of this ghost-faced Pavilion Lord. How dare he kill the friend of this ghost-faced Pavilion Lord? He had witnessed Wu Chen's terror with his own eyes. Wu Chen had been in charge of the ancient star region for tens of thousands of years. Tens of thousands of years ago, the overlord of the ancient star region was not the 10 heavenly monarchs of today. Instead, it was a true immortal realm bandit cultivator at the True Crossing realm. That bandit cultivator had a total of 47 life immortal realm subordinates. However, on the day when Wu Chen arrived at the ancient star region, he killed that true immortal realm bandit cultivators all by himself. On that day, blood flowed like a river in the ancient star region. The number of bandit cultivators who died was at least 100 million. Since then, Wu Chen had been in charge of the immortal soul planet and the entire ancient star region had been obedient for tens of thousands of years, putting aside the fact that Wu Chen was a member of the Slaughter Palace, the Slaughter Pavilion Lord and a ghost-faced assassin. His brutal battle record alone was enough to make all the bandit cultivators in the ancient star region tremble in fear upon hearing his name. If Han Tianjun had known that Ning Fan and Ouyang Yuan were Wu Chen's friends, he would not have dared to accept this mission even if they gave him 20 billion Dao crystals. This time, he had poked a huge hole in the basket. You are a descendant of the soul race. You should have a natal soul jade, right? Wu Chen said coldly. I'm willing to give you my natal soul jade in exchange for your life. Han Tianjun let out a long sigh. He gritted his teeth and suddenly patted the top of his head, opening the top of his skull. His primordial spirit immediately flew out from the top of his skull. His primordial spirit glowed with a strange soul light. It was almost transparent. In the small primordial spirit's hand was a purple jade pendant. He gritted his teeth and changed his hand seal. The purple jade pendant immediately separated from his primordial spirit. All of a sudden, Han Tianjuan's primordial spirit withered and his cultivation base began to decline. Originally, his cultivation base was already very close to breaking through to the mid-human profound realm. Now, however, his cultivation base was falling rapidly and was on the verge of falling to the early human profound realm. He was just a step away from falling to the void fragmentation realm. Removing the soul jade from his primordial spirit would definitely cause him great harm. However, in order to save his life, he naturally acted decisively. He would not destroy his own path of survival just for a piece of soul jade. After withdrawing his primordial spirit back into his body, Han Tianjun respectfully handed the soul jade to Wu Chen. Wu Chen looked at the soul jade in his hand and nodded his head in satisfaction. I need to find an opportunity to help my sister-in-law refine this jade. Even though it can't extend her lifespan, it can slightly restore the power of her medicine soul. At least, she won't be as weak as she is now. It's a pity that the soul race has already been annihilated. Otherwise, if I have thousands of natal immortal soul jades, it would be possible to extend my sister-in-law's lifespan. As soon as Ning Fan received the soul jade, his palm instantly froze into ice. This soul jade was so cold. However, it contained an immeasurable soul power which could nourish a cultivator's medicine soul. With a thought, a trace of black devil flame rose from the center of his palm. With a slight turn, the ice gradually melted. After thinking for a while, Ning Fan temporarily sealed this soul jade in a jade box. This item could indeed help Ouyang Yuan recover her soul power. However, now was not the right time to refine this jade. Seeing that Wu Chen's anger subsided a little after receiving the soul jade, Han Tianjun could not help but secretly let out a sigh of relief. It seemed like Wu Chen would not massacre Tian Chin Star anymore after receiving the soul jade. Not long after, a bandit of the Eight Broken Realm flew to Wu Chen while trembling with fear and trepidation. He cupped his fists and presented the book to Wu Chen. This book was none other than the spiritual plant scripture. It recorded the secret technique of growing immortal soul herbs. Wu Chen flipped through the pages of the spiritual plant scripture and found that there were no mistakes in it. Then, he passed it to Ning Fan and kept it properly. After that, he looked at the southeast direction of Tian Chin Star with slight disdain and said with a cold gaze, Brother Ning, the one who wants to kill you and your sister-in-law is a natal immortal realm puppet master who has just broken through to the early human profound realm. He has quite a number of powerful rogue immortal realm puppets with him. However, he doesn't have any natal immortal realm puppets. Do you need my help to eliminate him? No need. If he is just a puppet master who has just become an immortal realm puppet master, I don't think he will be a match for me. Ning Fan shook his head. Wu Chen had already helped him enough. There was no need for him to trouble Wu Chen for things that he could do. Since that's the case, let's part ways on this star. Take this jade slip. It contains the detailed introduction of the disciple acceptance ceremony of the Slaughter Palace. In the first round of the disciple acceptance ceremony, you will need to hand in the slaughter badges. There are 3 types of badges. Forget it. When you have time, read through this jade slip. You should understand it. There are countless badges that you can collect along the way to the Blood Sea Star region. I don't think you will be lonely. Wu Chen passed a blood-red jade slip to Ning Fan and let out a long sigh. Brother Ning, this is all I can do to help you. Whether you can successfully join the Slaughter Palace and obtain the longevity jade or not, it all depends on your own ability. Be careful along the way. As soon as he finished speaking, Wu Chen cupped his fists at Ning Fan solemnly. Farewell. Ning Fan also cupped his fists at Wu Chen. Then, he turned around and stared coldly at the southeast direction of the heavenly star. He took out the ancient golden sword and left with Ouyang Yuan without turning back. If he had enough time, he would not mind staying in the ancient star region to have another drink and discuss the Tao with Wu Chen. Unfortunately, there was not much time left for him. He must reach the Blood Sea Star region within 10 years. Before heading to the Blood Sea Star region, there was still an early profound realm puppet master that he needed to kill. That person did not have any life immortal puppets with him. Ning Fan was not afraid no matter how many rogue immortal puppets he has. Currently, Ning Fan's cultivation base was already at the peak of the 9th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. If he uses baleful qi to subdue the devil and control the devil sense, he would be able to fight against an early profound realm expert. Ning Fan, be careful. Ouyang Nuan said worriedly. Don't worry. Ning Fan formed a hand seal with all 10 of his fingers and displayed the heaven-peering rain technique. He did not display this technique to its limit. Instead, he just extended his spirit sense to a distance of 1 billion li through the rain curtain. This distance was far beyond the range of the spirit sense of an early profound realm life immortal. Ning Fan would discover the other party's existence before they discover him. All of a sudden, Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He sent a telepathic message to Ouyang Nuan and sent her and the little furball into the Yuanya world temporarily. Then, his eyes turned sharp. He stepped on a golden sword light and dashed towards a certain cave dwelling on an abandoned planet. Inside a cave on a barren mountain on the abandoned planet, 7 sword cultivator puppets were guarding the entrance of the cave. Inside the cave, an early profound realm life immortal who was dressed in green pill robes was sitting cross-legged on the ground. His 10 fingers were forming hand seals. White mist lingered above his head. One could vaguely see an illusory lead-colored lotus slowly taking shape. At the crucial moment, the lead-colored lotus shattered with a bang. I didn't expect this ancient divine ability that I found by chance to be so difficult to cultivate. What exactly am I missing? Why am I still unable to cultivate it? While the pill-robed life immortal was pondering, his eyes suddenly flashed with surprise. Who is it? Show yourself. As he was busy cultivating the secret technique, he did not notice that the enemy was already so close to the cave. Sure enough, it's someone from the pill sect again, a cold voice suddenly came from outside the cave. Chapter 7:16. As expected, it's someone from the pill sect again, a cold voice suddenly came from outside the cave. The one who spoke was a white-robed young man who was standing outside the cave coldly. The pill-robed life immortal was shocked at first when someone got so close to him. When he saw who it was, he sneered coldly. So it's you. Little Chinchou. I didn't expect that you would come to me to die instead of me coming to kill you. Die. The pill-robed life immortal stomped on the ground. An unimaginable destructive force immediately engulfed the entire abandoned planet. With a loud bang, the abandoned planet that was already on the verge of collapse was crushed by the pill-robed life immortal's stomp. The destructive force that was formed by that stomp rushed towards Ning Fan's face, producing countless loud rumbling sounds. Ning Fan's eyes remained unmoved. Faint black starlight surrounded his body. He allowed the destructive force to hit his body, but he did not dodge or evade it. Bang! 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 The piercingly cold void storm quickly engulfed Ning Fan's figure. Hee hee. You're just an ant. The pill-robed life immortal sneered and walked towards the center of the storm. From his point of view, Ning Fan was just a void fragmentation realm ant. He definitely could not withstand the force of his stomp. According to the information he received, Ning Fan had a small Kiliacosm Cosmos treasure on him. Ouyang Nuan was probably still hiding inside the Cosmos treasure. The pill-robed life immortal was going to collect his spoils of war. After taking away Ning Fan's small Kiliacosm Cosmos treasure, he would release Ouyang Nuan and kill her. Soul extraction, a faint voice suddenly came from the void storm. Ning Fan's body was bathed in black starlight. He walked out of the void storm step by step without any injuries. He raised his hand and extracted the void soul. As soon as he swallowed it, his chi rose rapidly. He was just a step away from reaching the early human profound realm. Unfortunately, it was the bottleneck of the immortal realm. No matter how powerful the soul extraction technique is, it could not help Ning Fan advance to the life immortal realm. As for the incarnation technique, he did not need to use it for the time being. Starlight healing technique. It's actually the legendary black starlight. The pill-robed life immortal was shocked at first. Then, his eyes filled with greed and he licked his lips. Good. Good. Junior, if you hand over the cultivation method of the black star technique obediently, I can let you go. After I kill you, I can let your soul enter samsara again. Let my soul enter samsara again. Ning Fan was speechless. Did he still have the qualification to enter the samsara again? He had probably been abandoned by the samsara long ago. Ning Fan didn't know the cultivation method of the Black Star art. The reason why he could form his first life Black Star was due to a heaven-sent opportunity. He did not have a cultivation technique on hand. Even if Ning Fan possesses the Black Star cultivation method, he would not hand it over to the life immortal in the pill robes. He would never let this life immortal realm cultivator go. Of course, after this battle, Ning Fan would learn a lesson. He would no longer reveal the Black Star healing art in public. At most, he would hide the starlight inside his body to heal his wounds in order to avoid attracting the attention of other old monsters. I'll give you 3 breaths to consider. After 3 breaths, if you don't hand over the complete cultivation method of the Black Star art. Before the life immortal could finish his sneer, he suddenly revealed a furious expression. Ning Fan's figure flashed and disappeared from his original spot. At the next moment, he appeared behind the life immortal realm cultivator. A black golden longsword appeared in his hand out of nowhere and he swung it at the latter's head. A strong sense of danger immediately rose in the life immortal realm cultivator's heart. His back was drenched in cold sweat. His body immediately turned into pale shadows and dispersed, dodging Ning Fan's sword attack by a hair's breadth. As soon as the sword slashed through the air, the boundless hollow space was split open by the black golden sword light with a chi sound. Under the layers of hollow space, it was an even deeper and serene void. The pill shadows condensed again. The life immortal realm cultivator was already 10,000 zhang away from Ning Fan. Looking at the layers of hollow space that were split open, his eyes were filled with astonishment. It's really a Dao soldier. At first, I didn't believe that a void fragmentation realm kid would have a Dao soldier. I didn't expect it to be true. Fortunately, this Dao soldier has yet to be refined and its power is still weak. Otherwise, even if I use the pill shadow incarnation technique, I wouldn't be able to avoid the destructive power of that sword attack. I would certainly die. It seems like I have underestimated this kid too much. No wonder Old Man Gu, Old Man Gao and the spy Wei Qi in the medicine sect would all die in his hands. The life immortal realm cultivator's eyes turned sharp. His hand seals suddenly changed and a vast aura force rose around his body. 7 puppets formation. As he gave the command, the eyes of the 7 rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets which were standing at the side blankly suddenly glowed with green light. They rode on their flying swords and stood in 7 different directions, surrounding Ning Fan in the middle. Chi. The 7 rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets performed hand seals at the same time. 7 flying swords hovered in 7 different directions, forming a sword formation. Countless rays of sword light immediately engulfed Ning Fan. Rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets, huh? Ning Fan did not even bother to look at the sword chi that pierced into his body. At this moment, his entire body was bathed in black starlight. None of the rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets could hurt him at all. Seeing that the 7 puppets could not hurt Ning Fan, the life immortal realm cultivator's eyes turned grim. He was a pill ancestor realm cultivator, but he was not a high-grade pill refinement master. Instead, he was a puppet master that was rarely seen in the Eastern Heaven. As a puppet master, he was proficient in the art of puppetry. However, his abilities were not very strong and he did not have any powerful magic treasures to protect himself. The force of that stomp just now was almost his strongest offensive ability. However, it did not hurt Ning Fan at all. With his own abilities, it would be very difficult for him to kill Ning Fan. However, he had the rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets which were also experts in puppet killing techniques. He was confident that he could easily kill Ning Fan with his puppet techniques. If 7 spiritual puppets were not enough, then he would take out more spiritual puppets to teach Ning Fan a lesson. 100 puppets formation. He patted his storage pouch. Rays of green light suddenly flew out and turned into giant spiritual puppets which surrounded Ning Fan. There were a total of 93 of them. The skin of the 7-sword cultivator's spiritual puppets suddenly turned green and their bodies enlarged. They abandoned their swords and turned into giants. Altogether, there were a total of 100 giant spiritual puppets which surrounded Ning Fan. Each of the giant spiritual puppets had the cultivation base of a rogue immortal realm cultivator. In the void of space, 100 rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets surrounded a cultivator. That scene was extremely shocking. The life immortal realm cultivator in a pale robe formed a puppet seal with his fingers and sneered at Ning Fan, who was trapped in the middle of the spiritual puppets. Being besieged by 100 rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets in a formation, even an ordinary early mortal profound realm cultivator would have no choice but to temporarily hide and not fight against the spiritual puppets. The life immortal realm cultivator in a pale robe indeed did not have strong abilities. However, with the help of the 100 puppets formation technique, his strength was not to be underestimated. 100 puppets formation, huh? These 100 spiritual puppets can be of some use in the Battle of the Slaughter Palace. Ning Fan nodded his head in satisfaction. He did not seem to be aware that he was going to be besieged by the spiritual puppets. The 100 giant spiritual puppets formed hand seals with their fingers and condensed magic seals one after another. A sense of danger suddenly rose in Ning Fan's heart. Ning Fan raised his head abruptly. An extremely domineering black moon mark appeared in his left eye. His eyes were indifferent, as if he was going to look down on the common people. His chi was so cold that it felt like he was going to freeze the world. With just a single gaze, the 100 giant spiritual puppets stopped moving and froze on the spot. Then, a black moon mark appeared on the faces of all the spiritual puppets. That moon mark then went into the spiritual puppets' bodies, 100 puppets formation. Ning Fan's eyes were cold. He held his sword in one hand and formed a puppet seal with his other hand. The 100 giant spiritual puppets turned into green light and disappeared. At the next moment, they suddenly turned around and surrounded the pale robe life immortal realm cultivator. Each of the spiritual puppets formed hand seals with their fingers and condensed magic seals. Then, they suddenly raised their hands and sent rays of green magic seals towards the terrified pale robe life immortal realm cultivator. The pale robe life immortal realm cultivator was shocked to find out that the 100 rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets that he had spent tens of thousands of years to refine were all out of his control. They no longer belonged to him. Black Moon. This is the morning death technique of the ancestral emperor of the northern heaven. Why do you know how to use it? Who exactly are you? The pale robe life immortal realm cultivator was terrified. His greatest reliance was these 100 rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets. Unfortunately, he encountered Ning Fan, the black moon technique and the morning death technique of the ancestral emperor of the northern heaven. In just a single encounter, all 100 of his spiritual puppets were taken away by Ning Fan. Everyone in the four heavens knew that the ancestral emperor of the morning death technique was the ancestor of all spiritual puppets. No puppet master could defeat the morning death technique. Even if he were to face a mid-human profound life immortal realm cultivator, he would not be this terrified. However, when he faced Ning Fan, who knew the morning death technique, he could not help but be shocked and panicked. It was because all of the puppet techniques that he had painstakingly cultivated in his entire life had gone to waste in front of Ning Fan. His Tao of puppets had become nothing. The 100 spiritual puppets that were supposed to kill Ning Fan had all turned against him in just a single encounter. As the former master of the spiritual puppets, the pale robe life immortal realm cultivator deeply understood how dangerous it was to be besieged by the spiritual puppets. I have to escape. His own abilities were too weak. He definitely could not face the attacks of the spiritual puppets head-on. Ancient Divine Tao, Three Flowers Convergence. The pale robe life immortal realm cultivator gritted his teeth and formed hand seals with all 10 of his fingers, displaying a great secret technique that he had yet to truly master. He lifted his finger and pointed at the void space. All of a sudden, a lead-colored illusory lotus appeared in the void space. As soon as the illusory lotus appeared, it immediately turned into 1,000,000 lotus shadows, protecting him. The 100 spiritual puppets kept sending out green magic seals which bombarded the lotus shadows. However, they could not break through the lotus shadow's defense for a while. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise. According to his estimation, the destructive power of the joint attack of the spiritual puppets was enough to shatter an ordinary immortal treasure and injure an ordinary life immortal realm cultivator. He did not know what kind of defensive ability that pill-robe life immortal realm cultivator used. It was actually so powerful. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell that the pill-robe life immortal realm cultivator was far from mastering this technique. However, he could already rely on this technique to protect himself. If he succeeds in mastering this technique, perhaps even a mid or late human profound realm life immortal realm cultivator would not be able to hurt him. If little Yu Er is here, she would certainly know what this technique is. The defensive power of this technique is astonishing. However, it also consumes a lot of magic power. Let's see how long this person can last with this technique. Ning Fan was still performing the puppet hand seals with one of his hands, controlling the spiritual puppets to attack the pill-robe life immortal realm cultivator. Since he was controlling the spiritual puppets to fight, the consumption of his magic power was extremely small. As for the pill-robe life immortal realm cultivator, he risked his life to cast the technique and used the lotus shadows to protect himself. Gradually, the pill-robe life immortal realm cultivator's face began to turn pale. He did not have much magic power left. His eyes revealed a determined look. He suddenly changed his hand seal and self-destructed all of the lotus shadows, slightly pushing back the 100 centipede's magical seal attack. After that, he suddenly slapped his storage pouch and withdrew an 8 revolution immortal pill that was coiled with green light, and he didn't say a word before swallowing it in one go. In the blink of an eye, a streak of azure light wrapped around him, and he instantly teleported several billion kilometers away. That pill had the effect of temporarily increasing one's speed, but its side effects were extremely great. After consuming it, every time he tried to escape, his cultivation would drop a little. If it wasn't for the sake of escaping, the Dan-robed life immortal would definitely not be willing to take this pill. You want to run? Ning Fan's eyes flashed with disdain. With a flick of his sleeve, he kept the 100 stalks into his storage pouch. Then, he stepped on black flames and flew 10 billion li away, appearing right in front of the life immortal realm cultivator's path like a ghost. The current Ning Fan's magical power had increased by more than 3 times as compared to a month ago. With his current magic power, he would no longer exhaust his magic power after using the Black Demon Escape and the Steel Art of Sun and Moon. Impossible. What kind of escape technique is this? You can actually travel 10 billion li with just your Void Fragmentation Realm cultivation base. No, you're not a Void Fragmentation Realm expert. It's impossible for you to be a Void Fragmentation Realm expert. How can there be a Void Fragmentation Realm expert as powerful as you in the Eastern Heaven? The red-robed life immortal was terrified. His divine abilities could not hurt Ning Fan in the slightest. His 100 centipede was snatched away by Ning Fan. He had consumed a secret pill to escape, but his speed was actually so much slower than Ning Fan's. He could not win, he could not fight, and he could not escape. His heart was filled with regret. He regretted accepting the sect's mission to hunt down Ning Fan's. It would have been better if he had rejected the mission at that time, then he wouldn't have been forced by Ning Fan's relentlessly. Run again. The pill-robed life immortal was already at his wit's end. After losing his spiritual puppets, he was just like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. 90% of his abilities were gone. He was no match for Ning Fan at all. The only thing he could do was to keep damaging his cultivation base and keep running. If he was lucky, he might be able to escape. Do you still want to escape? Bing Jia. Suddenly, Ning Fan's eyes were filled with traces of ferocious devil intent. The black gold longsword in his hand suddenly shattered into sword light and slashed into his body. His physical body suddenly turned into a blood mist. The blood mist condensed again and turned into the body of a blood devil. His entire body was surrounded by blood-red sword light. He used the Bing Jia style once again. However, this time, even though his eyes were bloodthirsty, there was still some clarity in them. He did not completely lose his mind. It was Wu Chen who helped him control the devil intent in his body by using baleful qi to suppress the devil intent. Even though Ning Fan's magic power had increased by a few times, he still could not use the black devil escape for many times. He could not let the pill-robed life immortal continue to run away. He needed to kill him with lightning speed. Bing. Bing Jie style. Have you gone mad? Do you want to die together with me even if you want to commit suicide? The pill-robed life immortal's body was trembling. Just as he wanted to run away, he felt a sharp pain in his left arm. Then, his body flew far away from his body. The blood devil that Ning Fan had transformed into appeared in front of him with ghostly speed. He raised his finger and a sword light cut off his left arm. Ah! The pill-robed life immortal let out a miserable cry. His expression was filled with terror. He endured the pain and reached into his storage pouch with his right hand, as if he was trying to find something that could save his life. At the next moment, his right arm was cut off by a blood-red sword light. His left leg, right leg, and finally, his head. Qi. Qi rays of sword light ruthlessly slashed down. Eventually, the body of the pill-robed life immortal was cut into pieces, revealing the primordial spirit that was hidden inside his corpse. At this moment, the primordial spirit of the pill-robed life immortal was desperately trying to form hand seals with its tiny hands. However, due to its trembling, it could not form the correct hand seals. His primordial spirit had already been corroded by Ning Fan's Bing Jie style. He could neither escape nor commit suicide even if he wanted to. His life was beyond his control and his death was beyond his control. Ning Fan's body was surrounded by blood-red light. His cold eyes stared at the tiny primordial spirit of the pill-robed life immortal and held it in his palm. All of a sudden, the pill-robed life immortal's fear rose to its peak. He spoke with extreme terror. Why you can't kill me? I'm a foreign elder of the pill sect. Ah! Before he could finish his words, a blood-curdling scream resounded in his ears. Without any hesitation, Ning Fan directly performed the soul-searching technique on the life immortal of the pill sect. After a long time, Ning Fan swallowed the primordial spirit of the pill sect. His baleful qi increased tremendously. He did not have the intention to keep the primordial spirit for pill refinement. Now, he just wanted to increase the baleful qi in his body so that he could better control the devil sense. Today, when he displayed the Bing Jie style to forcefully control the devil sense, the process was still somewhat imperfect. Given Ning Fan's personality, he only wanted to kill people cleanly and cleanly. He would not be so cruel as to turn the pill-robed life immortal into a human stick and then kill him. The devil sense was still slightly controlling Ning Fan's rationality. He still needed to have a stronger baleful qi in order to control the devil. After keeping the storage pouch of the pill-robed life immortal, Ning Fan only lingered on one of the items inside. It was a broken jade slip which recorded an incomplete technique. It was the ancient secret technique that the pill-robed life immortal displayed just now. The lost ancient secret technique, 3 flowers converging crown technique, The technique that this person possesses is just the cultivation method of the first flower. To cultivate this technique, one would need divine blood that is at the royal grade or above, a high level of comprehension and consuming a large amount of 1 million years old spiritual herbs. I guess the reason why this person failed to cultivate this technique in the past was because the grade of his bloodline was too low. I can cultivate this technique a little. Ning Fan kept the broken jade slip and exited the Bing Jie style. His face was slightly pale but he did not suffer any serious injuries. Under the self-healing effect of the Black Star technique, some of his injuries were recovering rapidly. It was not difficult for Ning Fan to win the battle against the life immortal today. Firstly, it was because his cultivation base had skyrocketed and he was able to control the devil sense with his baleful qi. Secondly, the opponent's puppet technique was severely restrained by Ning Fan. A puppet master who had lost his puppet technique would be too weak. No matter what, this pill-robed life immortal should be the first life immortal that Ning Fan killed with his own strength. With a flip of his hand, Ning Fan took out the ancient golden sword. He stood on the tip of the ancient sword in the silent starry sky and remained silent for a long time. He had searched the life immortal's memory and found out his identity. Besides that, he also found out some other things. For example, the Pills sect had deliberately planned to deal with Ouyang Wan because they wanted to kill her and seize the five-colored medicine soul power in her body. For example, Wei Qi was not the only person in the medicine sect who had been poisoned with the centrifugal pill. There were a few other traitors in the sect, but no one knew who they were. Those traitors of the medicine sect did not know that they had been tricked by the Pills sect. From the memories of this life immortal realm Pill ancestor realm life immortal, Ning Fan also learned about the entire process of the great battle 7 years ago. That day, the alchemy faction used the power of the centrifugal pill to control Wei Qi and bring him away from Shaozi planet. They were waiting for Ouyang Wan to save her, hoping that Ouyang Wan would die in the hands of the unknown bandit cultivators on the way, so that they would be able to prove that they had nothing to do with this matter. Ouyang Wan already had the intention to die. If it wasn't for Ning Fan, she might really embark on the path to the starry sky alone to search for Wei Qi. Because of Ning Fan's intervention, Ouyang Wan finally found Wei Qi. Now that her identity as a life immortal realm Pill ancestor was exposed, there was no way for her to clear her name. When Ning Fan forced a life immortal realm cultivator to death and dismembered himself to deal with the other life immortal realm cultivator, Wei Qi was controlled by the separation pill and lost his consciousness. He struck Ning Fan's abdomen and tore the seal of the devil sense inside his body. Thus, Ning Fan had completely turned into a devil. Caught off guard, Wei Qi was torn into pieces by Ning Fan. The tall life immortal realm cultivator was corroded by the devil sense in Ning Fan's body and was severely injured. Out of great shock, he was actually forced to retreat temporarily by Ning Fan and fled back to the Pills sect. After the battle, Ning Fan was severely injured by the devil sense and his life was hanging by a thread. It was Ouyang Wan who carried him all the way to the ancient star region. Along the way, she used the power of her five-colored medicine soul to help him prolong his life and suppress his devil sense. According to the Pills sect's intelligence, Qian Kaiyan, who was hiding in the ancient star sector, was the sect master of the herbal sect, Wei Wuji. The reason why Ouyang Wan brought Ning Fan to the ancient star region was just to beg her master to save him. Along the way, she had sacrificed her own life in order to extend Ning Fan's life. When they arrived at the ancient star region, she had already become a white-haired old woman. Ouyang Wan knelt in front of the 100 Medicines sect and refused to save her. It had nothing to do with love. At that time, she probably just didn't want to owe him anything. Ning Fan looked at the vast starry sky with a complicated expression. No wonder Ouyang Wan never told me the truth about what happened that day. She was afraid that I would feel grateful or guilty towards her after knowing the truth. Ning Fan lifted his finger and stroked the Yuanyao jade. A bright light flashed and Ouyang Wan looked at him worriedly while holding the small fur ball. Her five-colored medicine soul was very powerful. Even when she was in the Yuanyao world, she could still vaguely sense the situation of the battle. Are his injuries serious? Ouyang Wan asked with concern. Her face was slightly pale. It's just a minor injury. This life immortal realm expert is very weak. Ning Fan smiled gently and held Ouyang Wan's hand, injecting his magic power into her body. When he held her wrinkled little hand in his hand, he felt an indescribable warmth. Let's find a place to help you refine the soul jade first. Your body is still very weak and the soul jade is extremely cold. You need to find a cultivation planet with a strong fire vein and use the heat of the earth vein to refine the soul jade. I'll listen to you. Ouyang Wan did not have any objections. Ning Fan nodded and took out the blood-red jade slip that Wuchen gave him. He scanned through it with his spirit sense and his eyes flashed. The slaughter badge, huh? On my way to the Blood Sea Star region, I will always encounter cultivation planets with strong fire veins. If I reach a mid-grade star region, I will need to go to the main star and obtain the slaughter badge from the slaughter pavilion. Chapter 717. In the alchemy sect's main hall. The sect master of Elixir sect, who had been in seclusion to comprehend the Tao of alchemy for a long time, flew into a rage the moment he came out of his stone chamber. The 3 pieces of news caused him to lose his rationality and his usual calmness. Firstly, the pill devil that he raised in the rain world had gone missing. And the loose immortal Chang Shan, who was responsible for bringing back the pill devil, had already perished in the ancient heavenly court decades ago. Secondly, the ghost-rearing formation that he had paid a huge price to set up in the ancient heavenly courts was actually destroyed by someone. Thirdly, before he went into closed-door cultivation, he had ordered his men to seize the opportunity to secretly kill the medicine sect's head disciple, Ouyang Wan, and seize the power of her 5-colored medicine soul. To think that Ouyang Wan was still alive after so many years. Furthermore, the sect master of the medicine sect, Wei Wuji, had found out about the pills sect's attempt to harm Ouyang Wan. Now, the medicine sect and the pills sect had truly shed all pretense of cordiality. Half a month ago, the sect master of the medicine sect suddenly returned to the sect and found out about the life immortals of the medicine sect who had been plotted against by the centrifugal pill. After that, he paid a huge price to gather more than 10 Eastern Heaven true immortals to help him and annihilate several subsidiary forces of the alchemy faction. Among those affiliated forces, there were even 2 perfected immortal forces. This time, Wei Wuji was really angry. He didn't care about the harmless fight between the pill faction and the medicine faction, but he wouldn't allow anyone to hurt his disciple. The alchemy ancestor had touched his bottom line. A bunch of trash. The alchemy faction's sect master looked at the elders and disciples below furiously. A bunch of useless things. Now that the pill devil was gone, his 2 million years of waiting had lost all meaning. Now that the ghost nurturing array was destroyed and he no longer had those high-level sense beads, it would be extremely difficult for his spiritual force to break through to the next realm. The most troublesome thing was still Ouyang Wan. Not only had he failed to obtain the 5-colored medicine soul, he had also brought trouble upon himself and completely shed all pretense of cordiality with the herbal sect. How could the alchemy sect leader not know that the reason why Wei Wuji didn't bring his men to attack the alchemy sect was to intimidate and threaten them? If the alchemy faction and alchemy faction fought with all their might, they would each summon countless true immortals. When the time came, blood would flow like a river. A single battle would last for dozens or even hundreds of years, and it might not necessarily be able to determine the victor. Even though Wei Wuji hated the pill sect, he knew that the medicine sect did not have the power to completely destroy the pill sect. Now that Ouyang Wan only had 20 years left to live, Wei Wuji wanted to gamble one last time and go to the true immortal impasse to look for the longevity jade. He had no intention of fighting the Dan Grandmaster to the death now. Destroying the alchemy sect's subsidiary forces was a form of intimidation. If the alchemy sect dared to continue attacking Ouyang Wan within these 20 years, Wei Wuji couldn't guarantee that he would do something crazy. Even if he had to perish together with the alchemy sect, he would make the alchemy sect regret it. Sect Master, please calm your anger. According to the plan, Ouyang Wan was supposed to die in the Lesser Marsh Star region. The murderers would only be a few bandits and devil cultivators who are greedy for money. This plan was supposed to be flawless. However, a Void Fragmentation Realm Jr. just had to interfere and spoil our plan. He even exposed the killing intent of our pill sect towards Ouyang Wan. A Gue Xian Life Immortal was full of hatred as he reported to the Dan sect master who had just come out of seclusion. What? The person who you said ruined the great plan of my pill sect is actually just a Void Fragmentation Realm Jr. Ha, ha. The alchemy faction sect master was so enraged that he laughed instead. I didn't expect it. I really didn't expect that there would actually be a Void Fragmentation Realm Jr. who would dare to ruin the good plans of my pill sect. Who is this person? The alchemy faction sect leader's expression was extremely gloomy. His name is Qianqiuzi. He was born in the chaotic Devil Star region, a low-grade star region. He had once killed all the star lords of 7 cultivation planets in the star region. The 7 Fiends sect has set up a bounty of 30 million Dao crystals for him. The life immortal of the Pill sect reported. Qianqiuzi, ha. Hee hee. Inform all the people who tried to kill Ouyang Nuan to return to the sect. We can't kill Ouyang Nuan for now. Otherwise, it will completely enrage Wei Wuji. However, this Qianqiuzi. Gui Chen. Yes, sect leader. Send someone to the Seven Fiends sect and ask them to increase the bounty on Qianqiuzi to 1 billion Dao crystals. Remember, don't let outsiders know that this is done by our Pill sect in case we get into trouble again. Yes. The Gui Xian life immortal who was called Gui Chen sneered. He understood what the sect leader meant. Now that they were in troubled times, the Pill sect could no longer take action against Ouyang Nuan. Also, they could not personally come out to kill him. Who knew if Ning Fan was also Wei Wuji's reverse scale? They could just increase the bounty and kill him with a borrowed knife. The bounty of 1 billion Dao crystals was enough to move the mysterious life immortal of the Pill sect. After the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, Gui Chen returned to the main hall and respectfully cupped his fists at the sect leader of the Pill sect. Sect leader, I have already sent someone to the Seven Fiends sect. I think the bounty on that Qianqiuzi will increase to 1 billion Dao crystals soon. I have already sent a notice to all the life immortals who were responsible for killing Ouyang Nuan to return. Only the guest elder, Elder Lu, could not be contacted at the moment. Currently, Elder Lu should be in the Ancient Star region. He is the life immortal who is closest to Ouyang Nuan. Lu Zong. That early profound realm puppet master. The sect leader of the Pill sect muttered to himself. He had always thought highly of that puppet master. He had even given him a 9 revolutions death-chasing pill. Not good. Elder Lu's life plate is broken. Outside the main hall, 2 low-grade disciples suddenly rushed into the hall with a panicked look. Lu Zong is dead. The sect leader's eyes turned grim. He circulated the power of his medicine soul and calculated with his fingers. Lu Zong had consumed the death-chasing pill before. Even if the murderer's cultivation base was at the true immortal realm, he could still calculate the murderer's identity. After calculating, the sect leader's expression turned even darker. He was so angry that he laughed. Where is your subject? After that, he sent someone to Seven Fiends sect and told them that Qianqiu's bounty had been raised to 10 billion. I don't need to do it myself. I want this kid to die under the pursuit of the immortals. What? 10 billion. Gui Chen's eyes widened in shock, but he did not dare to say anything more. He hurriedly left the great hall, once again ordering people to head to the Seven Fiends sect. The reward of 10 billion was enough for Ning Fan to face the true immortal tribulation. It seemed like the sect master really hated this Qianqiu to the core. If he didn't let this kid die in the hands of the immortals, the hatred in his heart wouldn't be appeased. After the bounty was raised to 10 billion, perhaps it wouldn't be long before Qianqiuzi's name would spread throughout the entire eastern sky. After that, it was an endless pursuit. The process of the Slaughter Palace's disciple recruitment ceremony was different every time. In this year's disciple recruitment ceremony, the key item in the first round of assessment was the Slaughter Badge. In the first round of assessment, the participating cultivators had to hand over all their slaughter badges, and the results would be recorded according to the number of badges they had. Cultivators ranked in the top 1,000 would be able to pass the first round. The rest of the participants would be eliminated. There were 3 types of slaughter badges. A bronze badge cost 5 points. It could be purchased directly from the Slaughter Palace and cost 10 million Dao crystals. A silver badge cost 50 points. It couldn't be purchased from the Slaughter Palace. It could only be obtained from the Slaughter Pavilion in the main star of a mid-grade star region. The way to obtain it was to challenge the Pavilion Master. If you win, you would get a Slaughter Badge. A gold badge cost 1,000 points. You had to challenge the Pavilion Master of the Slaughter Pavilion in a high-grade star region. If you win, you would get a gold badge. Other than the bronze badge, the other 2 types of badges were not allowed to be obtained with the help of any outsiders. Demon pets and puppets were the exceptions. Each cultivator could only obtain a badge from a slaughter pavilion once. The badges obtained by one's strength could be sold to other cultivators. If other cultivators obtained the badges, they could kill them and seize their badges. The rules of this year's disciple recruitment ceremony had just been announced 1 or 2 years ago. Many cultivators who wanted to participate were busy challenging the pavilion master of the slaughter pavilion and collecting badges. No one challenged the gold badges. After all, the pavilion master of the high-grade slaughter pavilion was at least at the peak ghost profound realm. Which cultivator with a skeletal age below 30,000 years could defeat such an old monster? Those who could challenge the silver badges were already considered strong. The pavilion masters of the mid-grade slaughter pavilion were at least at the rogue immortal realm. Occasionally, some of them were at the mysterious life immortal realm. Ning Fan calculated that he would pass through more than 200 mid-grade star regions along the way. If he challenges the pavilion masters of the mid-grade star regions along the way, he should be able to obtain a lot of silver badges. It shouldn't be difficult to pass the first round of the competition. He opened the star door again and crossed the star regions. After passing through a few low-grade star regions, the first mid-grade star region came into his sight. Nuan Air, do you know which star region this is? Ning Fan was just hurrying along the direction of the Emperor's star disk. Without the star disk of this star region, he naturally had no idea where this place was. Little furball, it seems like your father has no sense of direction. This star region is close to the ancient star region. There are many fire veins on the cultivation planets. He can easily guess that this is the purple flame star region, but he actually doesn't know about it. Yang Nuan was playing with the little furball. She was in a good mood. I don't know much about the star regions near the ancient star region. Ning Fan shook his head speechlessly. Then, his gaze swept across the few cultivation planets nearby. Seeing that the cultivation planets here were indeed filled with fire veins, a thought flashed through his mind. I wonder where the main star of the purple flame star region is. I think the fire veins on the main star of the purple flame star region must be excellent and suitable for refining soul jades. If I want to go to the main star, I need to get an astrolabe first. As soon as Ning Fan finished speaking, he turned the ancient sword into a ray of golden sword light and carried Yang Nuan straight towards a low-grade cultivation planet nearby. After the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, Ning Fan returned from that low-grade cultivation planet. He borrowed a purple flame astrolabe from the star lord of that planet and went straight to the purple flame star. The purple flame star was a mid-grade cultivation planet. It was not a large-scale trading planet. The number of life immortals on it was also not as many as the number of life immortals on the purple flame star. Looking at the appearance of this star, there seemed to be some traces of damage on it, and the traces were very fresh. Ning Fan was speechless. Could it be that these traces of damage were caused by Wu Chen? Since Wu Chen had gone to a few star regions nearby, he probably came to the purple flame star region as well. Before entering the star, Ning Fan first used the rain technique to sense the number of life immortals on this star. There were only 2 life immortals guarding the purple flame star. Both of them were at the early human profound realm. With Ning Fan's current cultivation base, he was no longer as fearful as before when he encounters early human profound realm life immortals again. Outside the purple flame star, a group of void refinement realm cultivators who were in charge of patrolling immediately spread their spirit sense to check when they saw Ning Fan's sword light flying towards them. After noticing that Ning Fan was a peak level 9 break realm cultivator, their attitude became extremely respectful. The 2 life immortal star lords had instructed them to treat cultivators at Ning Fan's level with courtesy if they encounter them. We, the cultivators of the purple flame star, greet Senior. May I know where Senior is heading to? We are willing to lead the way for Senior. It's all right. I know the way. Ning Fan's tone was indifferent. As soon as he finished speaking, he stepped on the ancient sword and headed straight for the star. Before entering the star, he had already used the heaven-peering rain technique to observe the surroundings of this star. How could he not know the way? The patrolling cultivators cupped their fists and lowered their heads, sending Ning Fan off with their eyes. On the purple flame star, the best place to have fire veins was the star capital. Both of the life immortals were guarding the star capital. Both of them were fire cultivators. The slaughter pavilion was also located in the star capital. Outside the purple flame city, Ning Fan kept his ancient sword and gently held Ouyang Nuan's waist. Then, he leaped and landed on the ground. As soon as they arrived at the city, a group of cultivators immediately came out of the city gate to welcome them. The reason why they treated Ning Fan with such courtesy was because Ning Fan was a peak level 9 break realm cultivator. On this purple flame star, excluding the 2 life immortals, the strongest experts were people like Ning Fan. At the same time when the group of cultivators came out of the city gate to welcome Ning Fan, 2 extremely obscure spirit senses lightly scanned Ning Fan's body. The owners of these 2 spirit senses were naturally the 2 life immortal star lords of the purple flame star. Their spirit senses were slightly weak and seemed to be slightly injured. After the spirit sense scanned Ning Fan, it immediately withdrew and did not stay on him for a long time. Seeing that Ning Fan was not a life immortal who was hiding his cultivation base, the 2 of them naturally would not pay too much attention to him. Even though the 2 life immortal star lords would not pay attention to Ning Fan, 3 rogue immortal old men flashed and went out of the city gate to welcome him. They cupped their fists and greeted Ning Fan politely. "Fellow Taoist, I have never seen you before. May I know how to address you?" Among the 3 of them, an old man in white robes asked with a smile. "My Dao name is Qian Qiu." Ning Fan did not have the intention to hide his identity. After all, as long as these 3 rogue immortals investigate him, they would find out that he was a bounty devil. Old ancestor Qian Qiu who is offering a bounty of 30 million gold coins. The expressions of the 3 old men changed slightly. They were in charge of the purple flame city. Naturally, they had heard about some of the more notorious bounty devils. This time, when the 2 obscure life immortal star lords' spirit senses scanned Ning Fan's body again, they carried a hint of fear and a desire to please him. The expressions of the 3 old men only changed for an instant. Then, they regained their composure and smiled awkwardly at Ning Fan. "So fellow Taoist is old ancestor Qian Qiu. This is the first time I've heard of fellow Taoist's name, so I lost my composure a little. May I know what is your relationship with the Ghost Face Pavilion Master of the Ancient Star Region?" "Friend." Ning Fan's mind raced and he seemed to have understood something. "When Wu Chen came to this place to rob things, he must have mentioned me. Otherwise, the rogue immortals and the life immortal star lords would not turn pale at the mention of my name." Chi. 2 life immortal star lords hurriedly flew out of the city. They did not have the time to recuperate and directly appeared outside the city gate. The 2 of them landed on the ground and turned into an old man in red robes and an old woman in purple robes. Both of them were at the early human profound realm. At this moment, their expressions were extremely complicated. They squeezed out a smile awkwardly. Even though their cultivation levels were higher than Ning Fan's, they still cupped their fists and greeted him politely. "Hee hee. It seems like little friend is the friend that the pavilion master mentioned before. That ghost face pavilion master came here some time ago and purchased some jade slips for the Star Gate. He also told us to take good care of Taoist Qian Qiu if he passes by this star in the future. Otherwise..." Cough cough. Needless to say, these 2 life immortal realm experts had been severely threatened by Wu Chen. Thus, they would not dare to show any disrespect towards Ning Fan. "Don't worry, seniors. I will only stay on the Violet Fire Star for a few days before leaving. I won't cause any trouble here. Seniors, your injuries haven't healed yet, so it's better for you to go back and recuperate first. I'll just stroll around the Purple Fire City." Ning Fan cupped his fists towards the 2 Fate Immortals and the 3 Rogue Immortals. Then, he pulled Ouyang Nuan and entered the Purple Flame City. Seeing that Ning Fan was much friendlier than Wu Chen and was not someone who was difficult to serve, the 2 Life Immortals heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed like Ning Fan wasn't here to look for trouble. That was good, the two of them secretly ordered all the shops in the city not to neglect Ning Fan if they encounter him. They had to treat him well. Yang Wan was in a very good mood when her hand was held by Ning Fan. She even hummed a song softly. However, when Yang Wan realized that Ning Fan had brought her to a hot spring palace, she could not help but blush. Why did you bring me here? This was a place where many cultivators and Dao companions were deeply in love. Didn't you see how many Dao companions were bathing together in this place? This is the strongest place in the Purple Fire Star. The fire elemental power in the hot spring here is extremely strong. If I refine the soul jade in this place, I'm sure I'll get twice the result with half the effort. Are you sure that you came here to help me refine the soul jade and not to take advantage of me? Yang Wan looked at Ning Fan with uncertainty. I promise I won't take advantage of you. Do you want to come in and take a bath? Ning Fan teased. I think I won't go in. You can go by yourself. Yang Wan avoided his eyes and turned around, trying to escape. However, Ning Fan grabbed her wrist and pulled her inside. I want the hot spring pavilion that has the best fire vein in this place. Ning Fan casually took out 10,000 Dao crystals and handed them to the manager of the hot spring palace. The manager was a divine transformation realm cultivator. As soon as he saw the appearance of the newcomer, his eyes widened in shock. He immediately stepped forward and said respectfully, I don't need so many Dao crystals. Even the hot spring pavilion that has the best fire vein only needs 1,000 Dao crystals a day, then I'll pay for 10 days first. Ning Fan did not know how many days he would need to refine the soul jade. Very soon, a delicate maid walked out. She led Ning Fan and Yang Wan into the number 1 hot spring pavilion. The manager of the hot spring palace pondered for a moment. Then, he called 6 to 7 of the most beautiful maids and instructed them in a low voice. Tonight, all of you will go and serve that senior. Remember, you must make him feel comfortable. You must never offend him. Chapter 7:18. There were hundreds of hot spring pavilions in the hot spring palace. Each pavilion had a mind-isolating formation. Even ordinary void fragmentation experts would not be able to pry into other people's baths. The Heaven No. 1 hot spring pavilion had a particularly strong mind-isolating formation. Even mortal profound life immortals would not be able to pry into it. The maidservant who was leading the way deliberately swayed her soft waist in front of Ning Fan. Occasionally, she would turn around and look at Ning Fan with a hint of seductiveness. She was not a virgin. She was just a harmonious spirit female cultivator. If she could gain Ning Fan's pity and have a night of pleasure, the benefits would be great. If Ning Fan casually gave her some pills, it would be enough for her to use for the rest of her life. Unfortunately, Ning Fan did not look at her from the beginning to the end. His eyes were always looking at Yang Wan, who was beside him, with a smile. You are very nervous. Why? Ning Fan teased. No, why? No, I'm not nervous. Yang Wan's mind gradually went blank. Her thoughts became sluggish. I think what you are worried about is unlikely to happen. I don't like to take advantage of others. Ning Fan smiled again. Then you promise? Yang Wan looked at Ning Fan with a short breath. I can't promise. Pervert. If you dare to take advantage of me, I will release my little furball to bite you. All right. If you release your little furball to bite me, I will take advantage of you. At this moment, Yang Wan was not as indifferent as before. Instead, she showed the shyness of a little girl. Ning Fan found it interesting. He would tease Yang Wan from time to time. The maid leading the way was disappointed. She did not understand what was so good about the ugly woman beside Ning Fan. Why would Ning Fan spend so much effort to please her? Yes, in the eyes of outsiders, Yang Wan was just an old and ugly woman. Besides, Yang Wan's current chi was too weak. She was just like an early harmonious spirit cultivator. How could a mere harmonious spirit servant notice that Yang Wan was a void fragmentation 4th heavenly layer expert? When they arrived at the Heaven No. 1 hot spring pavilion, the maid looked at Ning Fan affectionately. She felt that her cultivation base and appearance were above Ouyang Nuan. She felt that even Ouyang Nuan had a chance to get close to Ning Fan. She also had a chance. "Senior, don't you need beauties to serve you?" Her expression was 30% charming and 70% gentle. She was exactly the type that many men liked. Ouyang Nuan frowned. She didn't like this kind of loose woman who offered herself as a pillow. "No need, you can leave now. While you're at it, tell your shopkeeper that I don't need other women to serve me. She's enough. While I'm in the hot spring pavilion, anyone who trespasses will be killed without mercy." Ning Fan's tone was cold without any warmth. The harmonious spirit maid felt as if she had fallen into a bottomless ice cave. Her whole body was trembling. She had forgotten that the person standing in front of her was a tyrannical devil, an esteemed guest. He was not someone she could casually seduce. Without any hesitation, the harmonious spirit maid hurriedly excused herself. Those beautiful female cultivators who were preparing to climb into Ning Fan's bed turned pale. None of them dared to go to the pavilion to serve Ning Fan. "Didn't you hear what Ning Fan said? Any trespassers will be killed without mercy." Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan entered the hot spring pavilion. Although it was called a pavilion, it was actually a small palace. On the first floor of the pavilion, there was a huge hot spring with a stone path leading to a secluded place. The fire elemental energy was extremely dense. On the second floor of the pavilion, there were pill refinement rooms, weapon refinement rooms, cultivation rooms and other facilities. Naturally, there was also a place where one could have sex. Unfortunately, Ning Fan did not come here to have sex with Ouyang Nuan. Otherwise, he could have left a good memory in this place. "Harry Ball's father, aren't you a cultivator of the yin-yang transformation? Why didn't you take away those human cauldrons that came knocking on your door?" Ouyang Nuan asked with a smile. She did not like that kind of woman at first. Since Ning Fan had chased away those women, she was naturally in a good mood. "Aren't you just a ready-made human cauldron? Why do you need them?" As soon as Ning Fan finished speaking, he spent several 100 million Dao crystals in the hot spring pavilion to set up an immortal formation. He just wanted to be careful. He was here to help Ouyang Nuan refine the soul jade. Naturally, he did not want any accidents to happen. After setting up the formation, Ning Fan took out the jade box that contained the soul jade and placed it beside the hot spring. Then, he took off his storage pouch and kept the cauldron ring into his body. Then, he began to take off his clothes. "You! What are you doing?" Ouyang Nuan turned around in embarrassment. The moment she turned around, she clearly saw that Ning Fan was stripping himself naked in an extremely familiar manner. "Take off your clothes and soak yourself in the hot spring." Ning Fan took the jade box and sat down in the hot spring. The water in the pool was barely above his chest. With the reddish water covering the pool, he could not see what was going on under the water. Sensing the unusually dense fire elemental power in the pool, Ning Fan nodded in satisfaction. The fire elemental power in this place is very dense. Quickly come down and soak yourself in the pool. Take the soul jade and refine it. Turn your back to me. I will help you refine this jade. The fire veins in any place on the purple flame star are not weak. Why do you have to choose this place? Ouyang Nuan was so embarrassed that her face turned red. She still felt that Ning Fan wanted to take advantage of her. When she approached the hot spring, she suddenly lowered her head and saw her face in the water. Ouyang Nuan smiled self-deprecatingly. She had forgotten. She had really forgotten. She had forgotten that she was no longer the #1 beauty of the medicine sect. She was just an ugly old woman. Because Ning Fan had been treating her the same as before, she had actually forgotten the fact that she had become ugly. It was ridiculous that she was still worried that Ning Fan would take advantage of her. If he really wanted to take advantage of her, there were plenty of beauties outside the door. Why would he need to take advantage of an ugly woman like her? All right. I'll come down right away. Wait for a moment. Yang Nuan sighed faintly. Harry Ball, who was in her bosom, looked at the steaming hot spring and shivered a little. It was unwilling to get into the water. Ling Zhe liked cold but feared heat. He hated being soaked in hot water. Yang Nuan threw Harry Ball to the side of the pool and took out a small pill bottle from her sleeve. She poured out a few pills and fed them to it. Then, she gently gritted her teeth and turned her back to Ning Fan. She gently removed her veil and began to unbutton her clothes one by one. Anyway, I don't have anything to look at now. If you want to look at me, go ahead. Pieces of thin veil gently fell to the ground. After removing her stockings, Yang Nuan walked into the hot spring with a calm heart and walked towards Ning Fan. Ning Fan looked at Yang Nuan playfully and said with a faint smile. Nuan why do you want to take off your clothes? There's no rule that says that I must take off my clothes when refining the soul jade, right? Didn't you take off your clothes? Why didn't you tell me earlier that you don't need to take off your clothes? I'm used to taking off my clothes to soak in the bath. I'll take off mine. You really don't need to learn from me. Ning Fan teased her. Plop. Yang Nuan, who was originally calm, immediately blushed when Ning Fan's gaze landed on her. She suddenly sat down in the pool and covered her chest with her arms, splashing water everywhere. Damn it! When she saw Ning Fan taking off his clothes, she subconsciously followed suit and took off her clothes. She was not here to take a bath. She was here to refine the soul jade. It did not matter whether she took off her clothes or not. She must have been out of her mind to take off her clothes like Ning Fan did. I didn't expect that an intelligent girl like Nuan would also have moments of foolishness. Hold the soul jade and turn your back to me. I will help you refine this jade. Don't worry. I won't peek at you. Yang Nuan's neck turned red. She thought to herself. You've already seen everything, alright? Even though it's not that pretty, the moment she held the soul jade, her hands immediately froze at a slow speed. If it wasn't for the fact that they were in a place with dense fire elemental energy, with her current cultivation base, perhaps her entire body would have been frozen by the soul jade in an instant. Is the reason why Ning Fan chose this place to refine the soul jade really because the fire elemental energy here is strong enough? Yang Nuan's eyelids drooped slightly. She did not know if she was disappointed or relieved. She turned around and sat with her back facing Ning Fan, exposing her entire back to him. She did not think that her dry and wrinkled skin would be able to arouse his interest. Traces of ice began to freeze her hands. The frost gradually spread up her arms. Yang Nuan gritted her teeth and tried to refine the soul jade and break the ice seal with her own strength. However, she could not do it no matter what. All of a sudden, her body tensed up because a warm palm was moving up and down her back, which was not smooth at all. Ning Fan's hand was touching her body intimately. Traces of heat from the devil flames flowed from her back to her entire body. Gradually, all the frost on her body melted. What felt even hotter was not the devil flames but her burning cheeks. Fortunately, she was ugly right now. Otherwise, she would definitely die of embarrassment in this hot spring. Don't let your imagination run wild. Focus on refining the soul jade. Ning Fan's tone was calm. As expected, he did not have the slightest desire. After knowing this fact, Yang Nuan felt slightly disappointed again. When a woman is so ugly that she cannot arouse the interest of the person she likes even when she is naked, how sad is that? Wait a minute. When did I like Ning Fan? She suddenly felt afraid of her own thoughts. After thinking about it carefully, if she did not like Ning Fan, why would she come to such an ambiguous place with him half-heartedly? Ning Fan, why you're so perverted. Yang Nuan suddenly felt that someone had touched her buttocks. She turned around and glared at Ning Fan, holding the soul jade in one hand and covering her breasts with the other. How did I pervert you? Ning Fan rubbed his forehead helplessly. He just wanted to help Yang Nuan refine the soul jade. Why did she have so many thoughts in her head? Ow! the criminal took the initiative to admit her guilt. She was playing in the water, sticking out her little tongue from time to time to lick Yang-wan. "Why is it you? Stinky furball." Yang-wan grabbed the furball and threw it back to the edge of the pool. She thought that it was Ning-fan who did it just now. It turned out that it was the little furball who was playing tricks. Well, that was true. She was so ugly now. Ning-fan would only touch her buttocks out of boredom. "Are you very disappointed?" Ning-fan seemed to have understood something. He looked at Yang-wan with a faint smile. "Why would I be disappointed? Let's continue refining the soul jade." "All right." Just as Yang-wan turned around, she suddenly felt her waist being wrapped by a strong arm and hugged from behind. Immediately after, she felt her cold back pressing against Ning-fan's warm chest. To be honest, the current Yang-wan was really not ugly. However, she could not be considered as the #1 beauty of the medicine sect. Even though her hair was white and her skin was slightly wrinkled, her eyes and brows were still very lively and beautiful. Besides, after absorbing some of the power of the soul jade, Yang-wan's skin actually became somewhat tender. The soul jade could not extend her lifespan, but it could slightly restore her former beauty. After losing her beauty, Yang-wan felt extremely inferior. That was why she felt that she was not attractive in any way. It should be said that Ning-fan's willpower was too strong. After all, for cultivators who practiced dual cultivation methods, if their willpower was not strong enough, they would directly be devoured by the method. "What are you doing? Quickly let go of me." Yang-wan felt that her heart was beating very fast. Her body turned soft and leaned against Ning-fan's chest, unable to move at all. "Just refine the soul jade like this. Let me take a little advantage of you. What do you think?" Ning-fan teased. Yang-wan was speechless. She thought to herself. "You're already taking advantage of me. I'm already soft. How can I resist?" Ning-fan extended his left hand and held Yang-wan's left hand that was holding the jade, helping her refine the soul jade. As for his right hand, he stroked her lower abdomen from left to right, not moving up or down. Indeed, he was only taking a little advantage of her. For some reason, Yang-wan's face became hotter and hotter. However, her heart became calmer and calmer. Traces of coolness spread from her palm to her body. It felt very comfortable. Yang-wan actually fell asleep peacefully. She slept for 10 days. After Yang-wan fell asleep, Ning-fan stopped teasing her. He heaved a sigh and closed his eyes, focusing on helping her refine the soul jade. Like the dry land that had been rejuvenated and moisturized, Yang-wan's skin became as delicate as before. Her face was as beautiful as before. Her perky and round breasts were so alluring that it made Ning-fan's breathing stop occasionally. Only her white hair was still so eye-catching. It was a sign that she was nearing the end of her lifespan. After eating and drinking her fill, the little furball lay beside the pond and slept for a few days. Ning-fan hugged the softness in his arms. All the thoughts in his heart turned into pity when he saw her white hair. As he stroked Yang-wan's incomparably soft and smooth hair, his eyes gradually filled with determination. He must obtain the longevity jade no matter what. I seem to have slept for a long time. I'm still a little sleepy." The woman in his arms gently moaned and rubbed her eyes, as if she had not woken up yet. Yang-wan gently turned over on Ning-fan's chest. Her pair of tender and white arms subconsciously wrapped around Ning-fan's neck and rested her head on his chest. Her two big white buns pressed against Ning-fan's body softly. It felt really good to the touch. Suddenly, Yang-wan was jolted awake. She opened her eyes in disbelief and found herself nestled in Ning-fan's arms in such an ambiguous manner. For a moment, she felt like dying. We. She suddenly pushed Ning-fan away. She was so nervous that she could not speak coherently. "Nothing happened between us. However, the soul jade has been completely refined. The current Yu is very seductive. Ning Fan deliberately scanned her body with his scorching eyes. Only then did Ouyang notice that her skin was very fair and tender, just like before. She hurriedly stood up from the hot spring and observed her fair and tender skin, perfect legs and slender feet. She found it hard to believe. For a moment, she did not notice that her actions had shown Ning Fan such a beautiful scene. I think I can't hold it in any longer. Ning Fan's faint voice suddenly entered Ouyang ears. After being stunned for a moment, her face turned red all of a sudden. Ning Fan was sitting right in front of her legs. She slightly parted her legs and displayed her most alluring posture, displaying her most beautiful parts to Ning Fan. Those who did not know better would think that she was seducing Ning Fan. When Ning Fan said he couldn't hold it in, of course, he was referring to that pervert. Ouyang hurriedly ran out of the hot spring and picked up the clothes on the ground. Then, she grabbed the little furball that was sleeping soundly and ran to the second floor to change her clothes. Her heart was still thumping wildly. Ning Fan looked at Ouyang fleeing appearance and nodded satisfyingly. After the bet that day, Ouyang regained her will to live on. This time, the charm and gentleness had truly untied the knot in her heart that made her feel ashamed of her inferiority. As long as she could find the longevity jade and completely solve the problem of her lifespan, she could return to the happy and peaceful life in the past. Longevity jade. Ning Fan's expression suddenly turned cold and his face was covered with frost. After leaving the hot spring palace, he was afraid that there would be countless battles waiting for him to fight. It was too difficult to join the slaughter palace as a cultivator from the outside world. However, no matter what, he had to join the slaughter palace. After all, this was the first step to obtaining the longevity jade. And this was just the first step. There were still many things that he needed to do. Screech, a joyful cry suddenly sounded from the cauldron ring, directly reaching Ning Fan's heart. The moment Ning Fan heard that cry, his eyes lit up with joy. Niali had already broken out of his demon cocoon. After breaking out of his shell this time, he actually broke through to the early profound realm. With Niali's help, his journey would probably be much safer. Ning Fan nodded satisfyingly. Then, he took out the jade slip of the 3 flowers at one's prominence and carefully studied it. The 3 flowers were the heaven flower, the earth flower and the human flower. The human flower was lead-colored, the earth flower was silver and the heaven flower was golden. According to the jade slip, if one cultivates the 3 flowers at one's prominence to the peak of the ancient divine ability, they would be able to endure 10,000 tribulations without perishing. This jade slip was incomplete. It only recorded the cultivation method of the first flower, the human flower. Ning Fan possessed the divine blood of a king-grade divine blood. Moreover, it was an extraordinary divine blood of an ancient divine god. Thus, he was qualified to cultivate this technique. Cultivating this technique required a large amount of 1 million years old spiritual herbs. In the Eastern Heaven, one stalk of 1 million years old spiritual herbs could be sold for at least a few hundred million Tao crystals. He still had 14 stalks of 1 million years old spiritual herbs in his possession. They seemed to be enough to cultivate the lowest level of this technique. The first lead-colored lotus had a total of 12 petals. 14 stalks of 1 million years old spiritual herbs were almost enough to turn the first illusory petal into the color of lead. 7 days later, Ning Fan wore white robes while Ouyang wore green robes. The two of them arrived outside the slaughter pavilion in the Purple Fire City. "Pavilion Master, please come out and fight me," Ning Fan said loudly. At this moment, the spirit sense of countless old monsters in the entire Purple Fire City swept towards Ning Fan's location. "Are you here for the silver badge?" "Yes. If so, even if you are Pavilion Master Wu's friend, I won't show you any mercy." "It doesn't matter." "Alright. I will accept this battle." A silver-robed old man with blood-red eyes appeared in the sky with a flash of blood-red light. As the Pavilion Master of the Slaughter Pavilion, he had the obligation to accept the challenge of any Void Fragmentation Realm cultivator who was below 30,000 years old. Of course, he was responsible for his own life and death. It's the pavilion master of this pavilion, Chang Yuanzi. Rumor has it that he is already an expert who has half a step into the life immortal realm. I wonder if that old devil Qian Qiu can defeat him. I'm afraid that old devil Qian Qiu's chances of winning are very slim. You may not know this, but Chang Yuanzi has even killed a devil with a bounty of 100 million. That old devil Qian Qiu only has a bounty of 30 million. I'm afraid he will lose for sure. Not necessarily. The bounty only represents the degree of hatred of the enemy. It can't accurately measure a cultivator's strength. I feel that even if old devil Qian Qiu can't win, he won't lose. Perhaps they will end up in a draw. Just as everyone was discussing, the two old monsters at the life immortal realm had already arrived. They stood in the sky and looked at Ning Fan nervously. Chang Yuanzi was a man of his words. When he said that he would not show mercy to Ning Fan, he definitely would not. However, Ning Fan was a distinguished guest whom Wu Chen had told them to take good care of. If the two of them really let Ning Fan die in Chang Yuanzi's hands, Wu Chen would definitely not let them go. Once little friend Qian Qiu is in trouble, we will immediately take action. The life immortal old man and the old woman exchanged glances. Both of them were prepared to take action at any time. Chang Yuanzi's aura force became stronger and stronger. Then, he suddenly said, "Make your move." "As you wish." Qi before Ning Fan's indifferent voice could completely spread, his figure had already appeared in the sky, 10,000 zhang away from Chang Yuanzi. Chang Yuanzi's eyes flashed with ferocious light. He waved his sleeve and countless black rays flew out of it. They looked like a type of poisonous insects. This Chang Yuanzi was actually an insect cultivator. The spiritual insects that he reared were extremely powerful. Even an early mortal profound realm life immortal realm expert would be bitten by them if they were caught off guard. Ning Fan looked at the poisonous insects that blotted out the sky. His eyes were as calm as water. All of a sudden, he raised his finger and pointed at the clouds. Illusory lotus shadows immediately filled the sky. In an instant, there were already 1 million lotus shadows. There seemed to be a massive defensive power within the lotus shadows. The 1 million lotus shadows were like a wall that blocked the insect's path. Not a single one of them could break through the barrier of the lotus shadows. Each of the illusory lotus flowers had a single petal that was the color of lead. This is the ancient divine ability, 3 flowers at once prominence. The expressions of the two life immortal realm experts changed. This technique was extremely difficult to find and it was said to be extremely difficult to master. Unexpectedly, Ning Fan actually found it and even mastered it. With 1 million lotus shadows in the sky, even if the two of them attacked with their full strength, it would be very difficult for them to break through the layers of lotus shadows. After all, Chang Yuanzi was not a life immortal realm expert. A ray of blood-red light suddenly flashed and Ning Fan disappeared without a trace. At the next moment, other than the two life immortal realm experts, no one could clearly see how he attacked. All they saw was Chang Yuanzi's face filled with disbelief. There was a ghastly sword wound on his chest and he fell from the sky while coughing out blood. The dignified half-step life immortal realm expert was actually defeated by Ning Fan in a single exchange. That is. The two life immortal realm experts looked at each other in horror. The moment Ning Fan attacked, his devil sense enveloped his body and turned into a blood devil. With just a single attack, he severely injured Chang Yuanzi. At that moment, Ning Fan even gave the two life immortal realm experts a feeling that he was extremely dangerous and difficult to defeat. Even though this young man has yet to become an immortal, the two of us might not necessarily be his match. The two life immortal realm experts muttered to themselves in shock. Chang Yuanzi fell heavily to the ground and looked at Ning Fan with unwillingness. In the end, he smiled bitterly. He did not show mercy. The one who showed mercy was Ning Fan. If Ning Fan wanted to, he would already be a dead man. Thank you for showing mercy, fellow Taoist. This is the silver badge of this pavilion. Take it, fellow Taoist. Chang Yuanzi struggled to his feet and took out a silver badge from his storage pouch. With a flick of his finger, he gave it to Ning Fan. When Ning Fan received the silver badge, he saw the words 875 written on it. He guessed that it was the badge number of this pavilion. The first badge was now in his hands. After keeping the badge, Ning Fan landed on the ground. He grabbed Ouyang Nuan, who was smiling sweetly, and flew away on his sword. In the end, he did not stay on this star for long. Since he had already obtained the badge of this place, he would go to the other mid-grade star regions along the way and continue to obtain more badges. Hiss. Pavilion Master Chang Yuanzi is actually no match for old devil Qinqiu. Only after Ning Fan left did countless cultivators react. They gasped in astonishment. The scene that they saw today was really too shocking. However, something even more shocking happened 1 month later. 1 month later, the Slaughter Palace issued a bounty with a sky-high price. Old devil Qianqiu had 10 billion Dao crystals on his head, regardless of life or death. In just 1 day, the entire eastern heaven was in an uproar. Countless cultivators wanted to know why a mere void fragmentation realm expert like Ning Fan could have a bounty of 10 billion Dao crystals. There were also countless life immortal realm experts and a few true immortal realm experts who were eager to take action. They searched everywhere for the number 1 fat sheep in the eastern heaven and madly inquired about its whereabouts. The fat sheep that was worth 10 billion Dao crystals. Chapter 719. Mid-grade Starfield, Woodfall Starfield. In the quiet starry sky, bounty hunters could be seen coming and going from time to time. They had the same bounty in their hands, and the news of it had spread throughout the entire eastern heaven. Suddenly, a huge starry door appeared in the starry sky. Countless bounty hunters in the vicinity immediately rushed over and surrounded the stargate. All the old monsters stared at the starry door with cold and solemn expressions. When they saw a middle-aged couple walk out of the starry door, everyone's breathing became heavy. Quick, let's see if this person is the fat sheep. Divine senses immediately swept toward the middle-aged man outside the starry door. It was a burly man in white with a face full of scars and an extremely ferocious expression. Beside the man in white stood a white-haired beautiful woman. She was not stunning, but she had a gentle appearance. In her arms was a black fur ball. Its bloodline was very dirty, and it was impossible to tell its breed. It's not Taoist Qianqiu. There's no white-haired ugly woman. There's no true blood spirit selection. There's no golden sword shadow. There's no disguise. Alright, they're not fat sheep. Let them go. After the group of people checked, they shook their heads and sighed in disappointment. Suddenly, another starry door opened in the distance. A group of old monsters immediately rushed toward the starry door and surrounded it. A skinny young man in white walked out of the starry door. As soon as the young man walked out of the starry door, he saw that he was surrounded by countless people and immediately trembled. You, what do you want? Kill. There are traces of disguise on his face. It's very likely that he's a fat sheep. I'd rather not let him go. The group of old monsters laughed sinisterly. Without saying a word, they chopped the young man in white into minced meat, leaving only his head and sealing the remnant of his primordial spirit. An old monster who was good at disguise changed his hand's seal and raised his hand to wipe the head's face. Immediately, his expression became extremely ugly. I killed the wrong person. Damn it. He's not a fat sheep. Damn it, what bad luck. I've killed 17 or 18 wrong people today. Boom. Another star door opened in the distance, and a group of old monsters rushed over. The middle-aged man's gaze gradually became extremely gloomy, and the beautiful middle-aged woman beside him suddenly giggled. Her laughter was crisp and sweet, like a 16 or 17-year-old girl. Furball's father, you've harmed yet another innocent life. Ouyang Nuan, who was disguised as a beautiful middle-aged woman, laughed hysterically. Innocent. Innocent people wouldn't go out and disguise themselves. Besides, the The Seven Fiends sect has placed a bounty of 10 billion on me for no reason. I'm the one who's innocent. The Seven Fiends sect is merely a force at the mid-human profound realm. Even I would consider it a lot to offer a bounty of 1 billion. How could they offer 10 billion Dao crystals? They obviously can't afford 10 billion Dao crystals. Ning Fan, who was disguised as a middle-aged man, wore an extremely cold expression. He very much wanted to know who instructed Seven Fiends sect to raise the reward to 10 billion. Spending 10 billion Dao crystals to kill a void fragmentation realm cultivator like me. How much does this person hate me? Could it be a pill ancestor? Ouyang Yuan rubbed her forehead as her beautiful eyes turned cold. She was not as gloating as she seemed on the surface. In fact, she was very worried about Ning Fan. That was why she took out 2 peak 8th revolution disguising pills to forcefully disguise herself and Ning Fan. That's about right. Other than the alchemy faction, I can't think of any other major force that would hate me so much. I'm sorry. I have implicated you. The person that Pill's sect wanted to kill was originally me, it doesn't matter. I already have an irreconcilable enmity with Pill's sect. Pill's sect master, right. Ning Fan patted his storage pouch and took out a geomantic compass. His eyes flashed with killing intent for a brief moment before he quietly retracted it. This compass could be used to trace the whereabouts of the Pill's sect master. One day, Ning Fan would have this compass and he would be able to chase the sect master of the Pill's sect to the ends of the eastern heavens. Awoo, awoo. The little furball felt wronged and wanted to cry. She was so white, but her cruel father had painted her black. Did the bad father not know that even Ling Shui liked white? Daddy is bad, daddy is bad, daddy is bad, she whimpered incessantly, her voice delicate and pitiful. Actually, she was much more wrong than she was now. However, after Ning Fan fed her a trace of purplish-black demon blood, she became quiet for a few days and did not cry or make a fuss. Now, she began to throw a tantrum again. Furball's father, please feed a trace of your black demon blood to little Furball. She is about to cry again. Ouyang Yuan stroked the little Furball, feeling sorry for it. She did not know what the demon blood represented. If she did, she would certainly not have encouraged Ning Fan to feed it to the little Furball. That was the ancestral blood of the Fu Li clan, even though it was just a trace of it. Little thing, did I owe you in my previous life? Ning Fan had no choice but to force out a trace of the ancestral blood of the Fu Li clan and feed it to the little Furball. The little Furball immediately felt extremely happy. It felt that it must be the happiest Ling Shui in the world. She could actually be fed with ancestral-level demon blood by her father. All of a sudden, it no longer felt the pain of being painted black. It snuggled comfortably in Ouyang Yuan's arms and began to sleep. As for Ning Fan, he released a barrier of magic power to protect Ouyang Yuan and the ugly little thing, preventing them from being hurt by the wind of the void. Are we going to challenge the Slaughter Pavilion of Fallenwood Star? This Fallenwood Star is a large-scale trading planet. There are quite a number of life immortal realm experts there. Ouyang Yuan said with a hint of worry. I'm going. The medicinal power of your pills is very strong. Even a true immortal of the true crossing realm would have a hard time seeing through my disguise. If I can get the silver badge of Fallenwood Star, I will have the 5th badge. Moreover, I need to purchase a large amount of 1 million years old spiritual herbs to cultivate my secret technique. You won't mind if I use your money to buy pills, right? Of course not. Ouyang Yuan smiled faintly. Let's go. I can't use the golden escaping sword anymore. It has almost become my signature. Fortunately, my cultivation base has improved tremendously. My speed is not any slower than the ancient sword. It's just that I need to use more magic power. Ning Fan naturally held Ouyang Yuan's soft waist and flew towards a low-grade cultivation planet. After borrowing the star compass from the lord of that planet, Ning Fan traveled all the way to Fallenwood Star. On this planet, Ning Fan slightly concealed his strength. It was as if he had gone through a tough battle before he defeated the rogue immortal pavilion lord of the Slaughter Pavilion. He spent 1 billion Tao crystals on this planet to buy 4 tufts of 1 million years old spiritual herbs. Then, he went to the gambling house and brought Ouyang Nuan to cut 2 tufts of 1 million years old spiritual herbs. He did not cut too many of them to avoid unnecessary trouble. Even so, after leaving Fallen Wood Star, Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan were still targeted by some people. The ones who targeted Ning Fan were 2 early mortal profound realm life immortal realm experts. They did not attack Ning Fan because they had discovered his true identity. Instead, they felt that Ning Fan had quite a number of Tao crystals on him. He could be considered as a little fat sheep that they could plunder. The 2 of them were extremely cautious. When Ning Fan opened the star door, they did the same. After tailing Ning Fan for half of the star region, they finally showed up and blocked Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan's path. On that day, the starry sky of this place was filled with bloody light. There was also an evil cry of a demonic bird that resounded across the starry sky. A few abandoned stars that were very close to the battlefield were destroyed. After that battle, there was no longer any news about the 2 life immortal realm experts in this world. Spring went and autumn came. A year had passed. Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan had already traveled across hundreds of low-grade star regions, more than 30 mid-grade star regions and 2 high-grade star regions. This year was a very dangerous one. Ning Fan was extremely careful and never exposed his identity in front of others. No one knew his whereabouts. The 2nd year, the 3rd year, the 4th year, in the blink of an eye, it was the 8th year. Ning Fan already had nearly 200 silver badges in his hands. He could not defeat every single one of the Slaughter Pavilion lords. A few of them were actually at the mid-mortal profound realm while a few of them were at the late mortal profound realm. On an abandoned star, Ning Fan sat cross-legged in cultivation. After harmonizing the 1 million years old spiritual herbs, he used them to cultivate the secret technique of 3 flowers in one's prominence. For the past 8 years, Ning Fan would reveal his wealth in a low-profile manner every time he went to a trading star. He would buy a few tufts of 1 million years old spiritual herbs and kill 1 or 2 early mortal profound realm life immortal realm experts to replenish his Tao crystals. He had already used up nearly 300 tufts of 1 million years old spiritual herbs in order to cultivate the secret technique. Their value exceeded 60 billion Tao crystals. After plundering and plundering along the way, he still had more than 15 billion Tao crystals on him. He was not poor. After 8 years of arduous cultivation, he only managed to form the 2nd petal of the 1st flower of the 3 flowers in one's prominence. After going through 2 more mid-grade star regions and 1 high-grade star region, he would arrive at the Blood Sea star region. Ning Fan wanted to cultivate the 3rd petal of the lead flower before entering the Blood Sea star region. If he could cultivate the 3rd petal of the lead flower, his 3 flowers in one's prominence technique would be enough to defend against the attacks of mid-profound realm life immortal realm experts. If he uses this technique, almost no early profound realm expert would be able to hurt him. On the abandoned star, Ning Fan opened up a temporary immortal cave and went into seclusion to cultivate. As for Ouyang Nuan, she stayed in the Yuanya world and watched him with her 5-colored medicine soul as usual when Ning Fan could not spare any attention to protect her. To a cultivator, 8 years was nothing but a fleeting time. However, she was already satisfied with it. To her, it would be difficult for her to repeat these 8 years in her life. Within these 8 years, her master had secretly come to visit her once. When he saw Ouyang Nuan's happy smile, he sighed and left on his own. Even Ning Fan did not know about his arrival. Only Ouyang Nuan knew about it. Even if her master's qi was completely concealed, she could still sense it. Inside the immortal cave, Ning Fan sat in meditation with his eyes tightly closed. His fingers were holding a flower. What he was holding was a lotus flower. On the lotus flower, 2 of its petals had already turned into the color of lead. The 3rd petal was slowly being dyed into the color of lead. Time ticked by. Gradually, the 3rd petal completely turned into the color of lead. When the 3rd petal appeared, the lotus flower became even heavier. After a long time, the lotus flower turned into traces of light and dispersed. Ning Fan opened his eyes at the right time and exhaled a mouthful of turbid qi. With a flick of his sleeve, he summoned Yang Wan and smiled faintly. It's done. With this divine ability in hand, my chances of getting first place in this realm's competition are even higher. At the same time, I can also solve another problem before entering the Blood Sea Star region. The problem of 10 billion Dao crystals. Yang Wan asked with a hint of worry. Before participating in the disciple recruitment competition, I must kill enough golden devils and at least 10 billion Dao crystals. Only then can I guarantee that no assassins from the Slaughter Palace will attack me after entering the Blood Sea Star region. If others wanted to kill me, I could hide, I could evade, I could deceive them. But if he wanted to join the slaughter hall, he would most likely have to reveal his true identity. Along the way, the Void Fragmentation Realm and Life Immortal Realm devils who died in my hands have already earned a total of more than 7 billion gold coins. I just need to kill 2 or 3 more Life Immortal Realm devils and I will be able to earn the 10 billion gold coins. After passing through 2 middle-level starfields and an upper-level starfield, we will reach the Blood Sea Starfield. Now that the grand ceremony is approaching, it will be difficult for me to protect you if anything happens. Therefore, you should stay in Yuanya world for the time being. Alright, but if something happens to you, I won't live alone either. Yang Wan said bluntly. He didn't have that kind of affectionate expression, just a very normal tone. The reason why she hid in the Yuanya world was not because she was afraid of death. She just did not want to be a burden to him. This place was close to the Blood Sea Star region. There were just too many Life Immortal Realm and True Immortal Realm cultivators here. He was not sure if someone would recognize Ning Fan's true identity and attack him to obtain the 10 billion red coins. If such a thing really happened, she would certainly be a burden to Ning Fan if she stayed outside. She didn't want to hurt him. It'll be fine. Quickly enter the Yuanya world. Someone is coming. Ning Fan's expression suddenly changed. He kept Yang Wan and the little furball into the Yuanya world and rose to his feet all of a sudden. Without saying anything else, he used the Black Devil escape art to travel 10 billion li away. The reason why he could travel at such a fast speed was because there were 12 to 13 Life Immortal Realm flying lights heading straight for the abandoned star. Those 12 flying lights were as fast as Life Immortal Realm cultivators, but not all of them were Life Immortal Realm cultivators. Based on Ning Fan's senses, it seemed like there were 9 real Life Immortal Realm cultivators chasing after 4 cultivators. Among the 4 cultivators who were being chased, only one of them had broken through to the Life Immortal Realm while the other 3 were rogue immortals. The 3 of them had yet to attain immortality, but their strength was already comparable to Life Immortal Realm cultivators. Their bone ages were less than 30,000 years. They were rare young experts. As for the early Profound Realm Life Immortal Realm cultivator, his bone age was only 25,000 years. His innate talent was extremely high and his strength was also above most Life Immortal Realm cultivators at the same level as him. Damn it! That person actually left us in the lurch and ran away alone. The 4 young cultivators who were being chased were 3 men and 1 woman. At this moment, the woman was cursing Ning Fan in a low voice. Humph! Miss Chu's words are different. The cultivation world has always been cold and indifferent. Who cares about each other? If it wasn't because we were being chased by others in the competition, why would we join forces at the last moment? That person probably didn't know the pros and cons of the situation. That's why he ran away. If he knew that the next mid-grade star region has been completely sealed off and any cultivators who don't hand over their ordinary badges will be chased by those people, I wonder if he would still be so cold and leave us in the lurch. Another black-robed young man who was as skinny as a ghost sneered and said. Humph. Even though that person ran away quickly, judging from his chi, he hasn't attained the Life Immortal Realm. Even if he is willing to help us and fight against the enemies together, he is just another companion who is running away. He can't help us at all. Among the 4 of them, a fat young man with big ears said disdainfully. No. That person is very strong. He seems to be cultivating a type of secret technique. That secret technique is very powerful. This person isn't simple. His bone age is very young and his cultivation base has yet to break through to the life immortal realm. The reason why he appeared in this place is probably because of the disciple recruitment competition. If this person understands our situation, he will certainly join forces with us and enter the mid-grade star region together. If this person joins us, we will most likely be able to defeat these troublesome people behind us. Among the four of them, the red-robed young man who was the leader said indifferently. With his cultivation base, he could fight against 3 people alone. The other 3 were also strong enough to fight against one of them. The red-robed young man had a premonition that Ning Fan, who had just left this place in a hurry, was not any weaker than him. It wouldn't be difficult for him to fight against 3 people alone. If this person helps us, we can temporarily fight against the 9 human profound life immortal realm experts behind us and wait for the arrival of our reinforcements. Chase. We must catch up to this person and drag him down to fight against the enemies together. The red-robed young man smiled evilly. The 4 of them chased after the direction where Ning Fan had fled. Ning Fan, who had fled 10 billion li away, sensed the 13 rays of traveling light chasing after him from afar. His eyes suddenly turned cold. He was not willing to get involved in other people's business. However, the 4 people who had just fled actually wanted to drag him into this mess. It was really a little too much.